Good morning. It's DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Welcome in on a Thursday morning. What a Wednesday night for your Utah Mammoth. Way to get a W. Way to go into Detroit and win convincingly 4-1. And I got to say, it was hanging in the balance. It's 2-1 in the third. It did have the feeling of a game where, it could go wrong. In the final 5 minutes, just holding on. But sitting there at the back post, waiting to bang in the deflected clearance, Dylan Gunther. He scores pretty goals. He scores greasy goals. Man, on the power play. His slap shot, and they moved the puck to him. He's got that thing loaded up. You just feel the anticipation, right? That's the pretty goal. This was at the back post, hold your ground. When the clearance bangs off the backside of the goaltender, you got to be there to poke it in. And he was. That made it 3-1. They added one more for 4-1. Really good win on the road for the Mammoth. For more, let's get to the best of the postgame show.
DJ and PK, the Utah Mammoth finished their 3-game road trip with a 4-1 win in Detroit on Wednesday night against the Atlantic Division leading Red Wings. Utah coming home with 2 out of 3 on that trip, 4 of a possible 6 points. They're back above 500 at 17, 16, and 3, and in a 3-way tie with San Jose and LA for the 2 wildcard spots in the Western Conference. It was a game where Karel Vejmelka improved to 15, 9, and 2 on the season. He stopped 27 out of 28. The Mammoth got 4 goals from 4 different scores and a goal from all 4 of their forward lines in the victory. Utah has now defeated all 3 division leading teams that they've played this year, including Detroit, Colorado, and Anaheim. Still haven't played Carolina. Utah captain Clayton Keller led the way. He was the number 1 star of the night for Utah, and he got the scoring started 1 minute and 44 seconds into the second period.
Schmaltz out wide, shoots, rebound, they score! Clayton Keller stashes it in, and the Mammoth are out in front early in period number 2.
So while Utah lost the game in the first minute of the second period in Boston on Tuesday, on Wednesday, they score in the first 2 minutes. They took a 1-0 lead, and they never looked back. Killed a couple big penalties in the second, and then they were able to make it 2-0 just 22 seconds after going back to 5-on-5 with Jack McBain getting his 4th.
Up high, Jersey, wrister, went maybe off the shoulder of Talbot. Backdoor, McBain punches it in, and they score! Right after the PK, Utah extends its lead to 2.
Detroit, in the third period, would add a power play goal to make it 2-1, but less than 6 minutes later, Dylan Gunther for his team leading 16th, and the Mammoth got the 2-goal lead back.
Sergachev pinches down, finds Hayden. He looks in, shoots at the goal line. They score! Punched in by Dylan Gunther. Hayden got it to the front, and Gunther had the exclamation point on Utah's 3rd goal of the game.
And less than a minute after that, Kevin Stenlund would finish the scoring for Utah on his 3rd of the year.
Leak off that strong side post.
Keller right circle, one-timer, Stenlund, he scores! Mammoth follow it up, and it's 4-1. Kevin Stenlund with a rocket.
So Utah gets the goals again. It's the 11th time in the last 15 games they get at least 3 after the 4-1 loss in Boston on Tuesday. But as we said yesterday, win tonight in Detroit, come home with 2 of 3. Definitely going to be happy with that. Mammoth home with the New Jersey Devils on Friday. That's the next big test. They've never beaten New Jersey, went 0-2 against them last year, outscored 6-1, a tough defensive team, even though they've struggled as of late. Big test for the Mammoth coming up on Friday at the Delta Center. Winnipeg will come to town on Sunday. Let's hear what the Mammoth said after this one. Let's start with head coach Andre Cherney.
Obviously, it's a lot of guys played well tonight. It's a really everywhere. If you look at our decor, we're rock solid. Our goalie was rock solid. I like our 4 lines. I think Stanny's line was really good. I think Booter his line had a really good game. He had a good game as well. A few exceptions, but he played good. Barrett Ayton, maybe his best game of the year. So, and obviously our first line scored the first goal and a key goal at the end as well. So 4-0 at 5-on-5 against the second team in the Eastern Conference. We'll take that at the end of the 3-4 in the road. I'm really proud of the effort and the character of our guys.
It was a really strong second period. That penalty kill, though, really kept things as 2-0. What can you say about their effort in the middle frame?
Yeah, it's... I don't know if we're getting used to it or what, but they do such a great job. And at key moment, like you said, the game was on the line at that time, and it was a key moment. So really good job.
Of current division leaders, you have wins of 3 of 4 of them. In terms of just confidence, when it comes to top leaders in the league, you guys can play with the best of them. What does that say about this group and rising to the occasion?
Yeah, the way I look at it tonight is that we play a really mature game. Yesterday we talked about taking ownership and having consistent and stay even, kill, whatever. If we play the success we have, did not wave today. That was 60 minutes of good play.
You talk about ownership, and you talk about seeing it in their eyes. What did you see in their eyes today?
Well, they were tuned in. I saw a group who... That group has a lot of pride. There's a lot of pride. There's a lot of character. There's nobody perfect in the world, but those guys care a ton, and they want to be successful together. And they showed it tonight in a character situation.
What did you see from Keller tonight? Obviously, he scores. It seemed like there's a little bit more fight in him.
Yeah, he competes. I think tonight he wanted to make the difference, and he scored a big goal, made a great play on Stanley's goal. But it's more than that. It's the fight he had, like a little bit you mentioned. And like I just said, I felt like that about our team, and started with our captain.
So a nice response by the Mammoth, who are now 3-0, coming off a 3-goal loss. Beat the Rangers after the loss to Vegas, beat Anaheim after the loss to San Jose, and beat Detroit after losing by 3 goals to Boston. Nick Schmaltz helped get the scoring started for Utah on that first goal. Him and J.J. Peterka setting up Clayton Keller, and Utah's leading scorer up to 31 points in 36 games. Heard from him after the contest.
Big bounce back for this team tonight. What did you like out of not only your team's game, but defending that lead and then adding on with a couple of goals in the third?
Yeah, I thought we were real good all night. I think we didn't give them a ton. When we did, Veggie was good. I don't know, I liked our pace all over the ice. I thought guys were confident with the puck. We were making a lot of plays and, executing. And it's a tough back-to-back, and be able to get 2 points is huge for us. 300
NHL assists for you. You assisted on Keller's opening goal. What's the significance of that milestone for you?
I don't know. I guess it's pretty cool. Play with a lot of great players, and hopefully there's many more to come.
What was the difference in closing this one out tonight?
I just thought our mindset was better. I thought we weren't phased when they scored. I thought we kept digging, and to get that third one there, that's kind of a backbreaker for them. So timely goals, and I thought we didn't let off the gas at all in the third, and a little adversity there with their goal, but we fought back and kept pushing.
How much of an emphasis has it been to play kind of a grittier style of hockey lately?
Yeah, I think, it's a tough league. You got to bring it every night. If you don't bring that competitive nature to every game, you're going to get outworked. There's a lot of good players, but it ultimately comes down to winning pucks, because if you don't have the puck, you can't make plays. So we just want to get back to winning loose puck races, being hard in our battles, and creating off of that.
For Jack McBain on that third line with Michael Carcone and Daniil Boot, he got what ended up being the game winner. That second goal for the Mammoth, his 4th of the year, 2nd in 5 games. Heard from him after the contest.
Jack, you were able to score. Great work with Carcone on that one. Can you just break down that goal for us?
Really good pass by him. I think, it's something you see him do a lot, kind of take into the net, and whenever he does that, I try to go back door and give him an option, so that worked out, yeah.
What are you liking about the team's response tonight on the second half of a back-to-back against a tough opponent?
Yeah, it's great. I think it's a tough road trip. Those are all really good teams, so to get 4 points there is really good, and I think, like you said, a really good response after that Boston game, so it was really good for us.
Able to start the game 0-0, obviously, after that first, statistically speaking. Where did you see the biggest difference between the first and the second to really kick the offense into high gear?
Yeah, I think 0-0, but I thought we played really good hockey. I thought they did too. I thought it was a good game. It was fast. But no, I think we were just able to take advantage of chances there, and Veggie played well. I made some timely saves, so yeah.
Your line's been so consistent, especially in this stretch where things have been kind of adverse. What makes this line so good?
Yeah, I think, we kind of complement each other really well. I think you look at Karks' game, he's so fast and, shooter, he can put the puck in the net. Butter, he's a big body, he's skilled, can make plays, he's good on the forecheck, and, it's something I pride myself on too. So it's being big on the forecheck and trying to get pucks back and being really responsible defensively. So, I try to keep being consistent and contribute to wins.
How'd this group take ownership tonight?
I thought it was really good. I think we've had a lot of talks this year, and talking's one thing, being able to do it's another. So I thought it was really good putting it into action. Yeah.
What was the message on the bench after they cut it to 1?
Yeah, I think same stuff. It's when you have the lead, you don't want to necessarily play like it. It's a 0-0 game. You got to still keep going and kind of put pressure on them. And I thought we did a good job of that. So just keep going, keep getting the puck in deep.
So Utah has now completed 36 games on their schedule. Last year, they didn't play 36 games until the 30th of December. Again, home Friday with the Devils at 7, Sunday with Winnipeg at 5. We're talking all about it on Mammoth Daily, wherever you get your podcasts. It's our Thursday Expert Edition. Tyson Nash will join us. Mike Folta and Nick Olchek will give us their thoughts on some additional things that happened in Detroit on Wednesday night as the Mammoth picked up the 4-1 win, and we'll give you your daily 30 minutes or so on the Utah Mammoth, wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, Utah Mammoth YouTube page, Mammoth Plus, SEG Plus, your official daily team podcast from your radio broadcast team here from the Utah Mammoth. DJ and PK will be back on Monday to recap the weekend and hopefully a couple more victories.
There's the best of the postgame show. The Utah Mammoth take 2 out of 3 on this road trip, winning in Pittsburgh and Detroit, losing in Boston. 4 points in 3 games on the road. They'll take that. They are back home now to face the Devils next. That is coming up tomorrow night. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're talking football. This is an astounding hire by Weber State. It's not every day a high school coach gets a chance, but this guy earned the chance. I am super intrigued to see what he does. I think it's going to go well. Winning the press conference is always dangerous. It doesn't really matter. It helps you sell tickets the first year to win the press conference. But after that, you got to get it done on the field. I think they will. I think he's, knows Jay Hill well enough to draw deeply from the Jay Hill playbook, which is drawing from the Gary Anderson playbook, the Kyle Whittingham playbook, the Ron McBride playbook, and those playbooks have worked. So we'll talk with Eric Kjar, the former Corner Canyon coach, now the Weber State head coach. That's next. Stay with us. All right, DJ, PK, and it's time to welcome in Weber State's new football coach, Eric Kjar. Eric, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing well. We're excited to hear the news that you are leaving Corner Canyon and going to Weber State. And I'm curious, how many times did you come close to leaving, and why did you decide to do it this time?
That's a good question, man. So I've never really been this close as I was this year. I've explored it a little bit, but not to this extent to where I was really serious about doing it and wanted to do it. So this was kind of the first time really where it became more of a reality for me and what I wanted to do from a career standpoint.
Yeah, it's funny, Eric. I mean, I've had many times people ask me, you think he'll leave? You think he'll leave? I said, well, he's getting closer. And this opportunity comes up. I know you still have a son in high school. I think the other 3, the 2 kids and 2 boys and daughter are gone and moved on. But at the same time, knowing that, it might not be available, so you got to take it when it is, and here it is. And so with that in mind, as you reviewed all this, essentially, why did you take it?
That exactly right there. This was the time for me, especially with the opening, and where I think the main reason why I was so interested in this job is just how good they are up here, or what I feel like they can be. They've been there before. I think we can get there for sure again. There's good resources up here. There's a lot of people that care about Weber State football. The admin cares about it, and it's important to them. And just being so close to Utah, just the talent in Utah and really how much it's unrecruited, I think is really a valuable place where I feel like we can get in here and hit Utah hard and bring a lot of good kids and a lot of fun into the program and create some excitement in Utah about Weber State football, where we can, increase attendance and do all those kind of fun things here where we can make it a special place.
You mentioned that Weber State has been good over the years, and obviously when Jay Hill was there, they won or tied for the Big Sky title 4 years in a row and went to the NCAA tournament 5 times in a row, and I think it was 6 or 7 years. So that is a lot of success. And describe your relationship with Jay Hill. How much football do you talk with him? How much can you pick his brain about what he did then and what could be done now?
What he did here was an incredible run, really probably unmatched a little bit in the Big Sky as far as just the consistency, especially from a Weber State standpoint, but even across the conference, really. You look at even the big, the 2 Montana schools that have done so well, and I've had runs in Eastern Washington and some of those places. Like what he did here the consistency was crazy. And then that's the great part about Coach Hill. I have so much respect for him, but he's open with that. So, I can contact him anytime. We can talk. We can work on things logistically. Also, what the program needs, what he did, what he liked, and then the best part about him too is he's always like, hey, but, with that being said, make it yours, which I think is always an important part. And I said the same thing to coaches when they go, from maybe where I had them at corner and they left and they go do their own thing. I think that's always a critical piece. You have to remember that you are who you are and you want to embrace that a little bit, and it's helped you get to where you're at. So
as I look at the Big Sky, and, I actually out of high school, I spent 2 years at NAU, so I've been following this thing for a long time.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, before I went, and then I transferred down to ASU and graduated from there. So, but I've always been a Big Sky guy at heart. At that time, I always thought it's like the purest form, playing for the love of the game and all that stuff. And you look at Weber State compared to some of these other schools, like let's take NAU for an example. The population in Arizona is much bigger than we got here in Utah, and they only have 2 other schools essentially that are playing. So the competition compared to the number of players available isn't as tough. And then you got Montana State, they're the biggest shows in their states, obviously. Eastern Washington, you can argue there's not that much more competition. But then you go Weber State, and wow, we've got 3 just in northern Utah alone, and then we got 2 others down south. So the competition to get guys, in-state guys, is really, really tough. How are you going to be able to crack that? Because you have a rep. I think kids will want to come, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be easy.
Yeah, I think so. So I think here where there's going to be high-level kids that are going to go to BYU, Utah, or even out of state, right? Like we had them at Corner Canyon. We had a couple high-level kids that are going out of state, like A&M, USC, Cal. Those kids aren't the ones I'm targeting here. It's the kids that I think are getting overlooked. So I think there is that initial line where those kids are going to those places. And then I think there's a ton of kids that are under-recruited below those levels that do fit well at Weber State and these other FCS and G5 FBS programs. I think there's a big group here. Utah football's good. And I think there's a ton of kids, I see it every year, that are under-recruited. There's kids I'm already looking at here that, since I've been here, that I know are under-recruited that we're going to go after hard, that I know can play here and help us build something special here. So I think that's really going to be where we'll get into it. We're not going to compete with those other ones, but we're going to get the other kids that I know are damn good football players that'll do a great job here and in our program. That's really the fit. You have to find the right kid, the right character of kid, the kid that loves football, that cares about it and just wants to play ball for what it is. Like you talked about with being in the Big Sky, that's what's fun about being here, is having those kids that just love what we do and love football and fight find that niche. It's going to be, important part, and then just recruit them hard. We got to recruit them hard. We got to pay attention to them. We got to evaluate them well and communicate well with them, and know that they're wanted here, and we want to build something special with them, and then win games so we can start getting those guys in here all the time and not lose out to other places.
Weaver State football coach Eric Kjar joining us here on The Zone. How comfortable are you with the transfer portal, people coming and going? I've heard the expression the Big Sky can be like AAA. You have to expect to lose your best players to the Mountain West or the Big 12 or wherever. But there's also guys in the transfer portal who can help Big Sky schools. How comfortable are you with all of that?
Yeah, good. It's something I'm learning for sure. It's not like I have it down. I don't know that anybody has it down yet, but I think some coaches have really mastered it already in different areas. If you can master it, if there's such a thing, I think it's still a risk. No matter what went as far as like getting into it, as far as like getting kids out of it. Controlling the fact of kids getting in, that's really on us as far as building something special here, to wanting them to stay. But then you're going to have kids that are going to, come here and kill it, which we want, be, big time players that are first team Big Sky players that are going to get out. And they should, if that's something that's going to help them and progress them as a person and make them, a better player, but also get compensated on a financial level that we can't do here. I think that's something that I have to embrace at Weber State and understand that's going to be a thing, and maybe even pitch that to kids in some ways that maybe have that potential, and be understanding and support them when they do have that happen and be happy for them. I don't think that's something, if you try to fight that, I don't think you're going to win that battle. It's what it is at this point with college and with college football. At our level, FCS level, in my opinion, there's coaches that have embraced that and done that really well, and I think that's what we'll have to do here.
What are you going to do about your staff?
Man, that's a great question. I'm working on it right now.
I'm here if you need me, big guy.
I know. You would be the good guy. I was thinking you probably more like offensive line coach. You seem like that guy.
You've probably heard the show driving to work at Corner Canyon. He's never put his fingers in the rubberized pellets. I don't know if O-line would be right.
I just sit up in the stands and criticize you. That's my job.
That is. Hey, that's a fun job, though. That's always.
It is actually. Yeah, it's a good one.
Stand on the outside and just taking shots is always nice.
I'm just wondering, have you been besieged by people wanting to be a part of this already?
Yes.
I thought you would.
Yeah, about 800 unread texts on my phone at one point yesterday, and a lot of them were job seekers, which I love. That's how it goes, the hustle of the college football realm, and guys hustling and wanting to be a part of things and getting opportunities. I think it's an amazing part of this profession, and you love it, and you love hungry professionals that want to do that kind of stuff, so it's awesome.
Well, when you get to mine among those 800, I wasn't pitching for a job. I just congratulated you and then threw in a little funny line.
I like it. Was it about how Jackie always beats you in pickleball and golf? Was it that?
Hey, don't give up family secrets.
She's an athlete in that group right there for sure.
Her life now is just recess.
I love it for her. I'm so happy for her. It's awesome.
She plays 18 holes of golf. She plays pickleball. She plays 9 more holes of golf. She goes home. She has dinner. That's how that works. Yeah,
she picks up dinner on the way home.
She picks up dinner. You're right. She picks up dinner on the way home. That's correct. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, you better be careful, PK. He's going to hear that.
I know. What the heck?
That's fine, right? I'm curious, so when you put this staff together, are you looking for veteran coaches who know college football? Because you know football, but you know at the high school level, and it's different. Are you looking for young coaches on the way up? I mean, the BYU staff, basically, they're in the Big 12 title game. Everybody was in the Big Sky. Kalani was at Southern Utah. Jerrod was at Southern Utah. Jay Hill was obviously at Weber State. Fessy Sitake was at Weber State. I mean, go on and on. So young coaches on the way up, ex-players who might have a little sizzle to their name, as we've seen, like Luther Ellis going to the U. What are you looking for?
So you hit it on the head with that first part, is just getting guys with some college experience that are really good, passionate about what they're doing. But college experience will be critical for me, especially, just first and foremost, just kind of helping and supporting me. And I'm learning a lot of that aspect already. Obviously, the football part, I think, will be the more easier part, but there's so much more to it than that now for me. So that's going to be a big piece, is having guys that can help support and be really good that way. So that's really going to be the critical piece. And we got to add some young guys, too, with a lot of energy that are excited about, getting that opportunity and can build and grow. And, then we'll probably lose them at some point, because hopefully, we do well and we take care of business, and then those guys get other opportunities. But that's going to be a little bit of the model here, where we're at the FCS level and you get some of those good guys when they're young, but then, they end up being Kalani, Sitake, and Jay Hill and so forth like that, and Fessy. So that's going to happen, and that's, if you're doing it the right way and you're winning, you'll expect that. But you got to get some of those young guys on their way up, just because then you can't pay quite on the level, obviously, here that you can at other levels. So
I was thinking about this as far as this is a groundbreaking thing here with essentially a high school coach, and you're basically being a standard bearer if they want to do this again. It's like you can go, can a junior college coach make it? Can a 1AA coach, can he step up? You can go all the way back to when it was crazy and people thought, oh my gosh, can a black guy actually coach? That seems so out of date now, as it should be, obviously. But do you feel any level of responsibility in terms of, this doesn't happen very often, to go from where you were to be the head coach of a program, and so there's going to be a lot of eyes on you to see if this works, and if it does work, which I think it will. In fact, I have no doubt, because I believe in you 100%, that others can get this opportunity. I mean, that might be too big of a thing to be thinking about right now, but I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I mean, so I've actually thought about that a little bit, mostly in the sense of what I owe this athletic department here and the administration here. That part is really not lost on me. I think the importance of doing well, working my butt off, putting out a good product, grinding on this job, and putting us at a level where we're going to be really good and successful, because I feel like those guys took a chance on me and gave me a unique opportunity, and I owe them for that. And our athletic director, Tim Crompton's a big part of that. So, and then just like you talked about for high school coaches moving forward, just owning that part for them and trying to put out a great product, and give other guys maybe an opportunity that are really qualified that could do the same thing. But really more so from a Weber State administration standpoint, and Tim Crompton, really that's really where I want to do a great job and put this thing back on the map and get things rolling. And because of what they did for me and the faith they showed in me, that's a big part of it.
Really good coaches usually have a coaching tree, and I think you can be traced back to Mike Leach, and you threw the ball really well with your Corner Canyon teams with multiple quarterbacks. How much of that do you think will translate to the Big Sky? On the surface, it looks like it ought to transfer pretty seamlessly, but maybe there's hurdles in the way of this I don't know about.
Yeah, probably the biggest piece with that is just to continue to be really good at the quarterback position, too. I think that's any, modern-day college football. I think that piece, you have to be really good there. So that's going to be always something we'll try to do really well. And that starts a lot with just being physical up front and being able to run the ball. All our teams that have been the most efficient offensively, we've had good run games with that. And that'll really be our focus. And then, the quarterback aspect's always there where we're throwing the ball. But that really, if you look at what we've done, especially at Corner Canyon, a lot of that came off our run game. And that's why, our yards per attempt were always so high and our efficiency was so good from a yardage standpoint. If you look at what we've done in the 9 years there, our attempts are really kind of lower comparatively to the other quarterbacks in the state, pass attempts wise, but they're high on efficiency and high on YPA, which is yards per attempt. It's so critical to be efficient in that category if you're going to be a good passing team, and that's running the ball. So if you're running the ball well and you can play action and do some things out of that and have some answers for pressure, then you got a chance to be really good in the pass game.
I don't know how many people know your story, and coming out of Wyoming and then coming here to Utah.
What comes out of Wyoming, huh?
Cowboys.
Yeah.
And how you got you got hooked up at Jordan, which is when I first kind of came in contact with Alex Jacobson, who was a childhood buddy of Mike Leach. Now, both, unfortunately, of those guys died way too early. But could you explain how you had an opportunity to learn from Mike, because Mike had family here and contacts here and would come back in the summer, and what you were able to develop based on what you learned from him?
Yeah, so really that was a lot of that was facilitated by Coach Jacobson, because they grew up in Cody, Wyoming together and good friends, and we went down to Lubbock a couple times and were able to meet with his staff and learn some things there. And it was a big piece. Like, I think in this profession, I think you're always doing that. And Leach was a big part of that, and really Coach Jacobson giving me that opportunity, and also an opportunity to coach and learn and grow, and let me coordinate an offense early, and it ended up being a head coach. But you learn so many things from so many different people, and he was definitely one of them. And then you utilize those things, and that's what good coaches do. They're always trying to learn and progress and get better, and try not to stay the same. And there's different ways to do that, but a lot of it is borrowing from others around you. So that was a big piece of what I've done and learned from.
How much control do you have over the schedule? Because Mickey Mental was let go there, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff we could dive into. But man, the first thing I dove into was the schedule. If you got to play a couple money games, and then the league has you playing the top half of the league and missing 3 of the 4 teams at the bottom, it was stacked against Weber State last year. How much say do you have on that going forward?
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't even gotten into those talks yet, if I'm being honest. That was tough. I think, one of the things for him last year, they played JMU, who's obviously in the playoff this year, and then Arizona was a top 25 team. And then you're just in the Big Sky, too, which is one of the top conferences in the country, too. So it's tough. And then they had some big injuries. They lost a quarterback. They had another quarterback that was out that, probably not a lot of them knew about. They ended up going with a freshman who played really, really well, who looked really good. So there was just a lot of stuff, and that's football. Like, sometimes you just have to manage that as much as you can. You can't make excuses. You got to get your guys prepared and ready to go, and the schedule be what it may. Those games, I think 2 of them are a little bit much, but sometimes, I think you have to kind of embrace a little bit of that too as an FCS school, just from a budget standpoint and financially.
Did Dina try to match the offer?
No, she was awesome though. She was great when I went in and talked to her about it. That's so funny. Yeah, I like it. But no, that's so funny. It'd be funny, huh? Having a public school in Utah trying to match that.
Dina being the principal, you spent all this time getting that field house, and now it's getting ready, and you won't be there.
So I moved when I moved to Jordan. I worked. And so did Mr. Sherwood. Tom Sherwood worked his butt off. We got that weight room extended. It was awesome. I left right after. And then here we get that field house done. We did one walkthrough as we got ready for St. Francis, and then now I'm out of there too. And the weight room's beautiful in there too. A bunch of racks, brand new equipment, like get stuff set up. So it's and then I bailed. So that's kind of my model, I guess. I try to do that kind of stuff and then get out of there. So
there you go.
It'll be a great place for another coach that hopefully comes in there that has some ties to maybe me and what we've done there, that I would love to see that continue on there and support that for sure. I got a son still in that program that I want to see them do well, and I care a lot about all those kids that are in that program. So.
Well, Eric, we appreciate the time. Congratulations on the new gig, and we are excited to watch this progress. We will probably be bothering you again.
Go Wildcats, man.
I like it. You guys can bug me anytime. You guys are fun.
All right. Thanks, Eric. We appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one.
There's Eric Kjar. He was at Corner Canyon, piling up state championships and title game appearances, and now he's making the move to Weber State. All right, there is Eric Kjar. When we come back, Pop Tarts media availability. I went to college to say that phrase. Chuckle to yourself. When we come back, we'll talk about the Pop Tarts Bowl, and you will hear from Isaiah Glasker and Kalani Sitake. That is next. Stay with us. Good morning. It's DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right. Bowl season is upon us. I'm sure you were all locked in last night as Delaware, the Fighting Blue Hens, picked up the W. Nice. They beat Louisiana 20-13, a pair of 6-6 teams. So Delaware finishes 7-6. The Bowl's ramping up now. We had a game 2 nights ago. We had a game last night. It's mostly group of 5 games. Tonight, Missouri State plays Arkansas State. It'll really ramp up. BYU's game is a week from Saturday. There's like 8 bowl games that day. They're playing Georgia Tech in the Pop Tarts Bowl, and they had a little media availability to pub the game, maybe sell a few more tickets. Isaiah Glasker, star of the BYU defense. He has had a couple of fantastic years here for BYU. Here's Isaiah Glasker in advance of the bowl game.
Isaiah, people talk about getting motivation for these non-playoff games. What is the motivation behind this game?
Really just that we thought we should have been in the playoffs. I feel like that's enough of a driving factor for us, and I feel like we're going to be ready for the bowl game. So,
how important would it be to get a 12th win, first time since 2001?
I would say really super important, just because, especially going against the ACC, it's like I feel like people overlook the Big 12 and how good the talent is here, and I feel like if we can catch this win, then we can really make a difference for the Big 12. So,
what stands out most about Georgia Tech?
I would say, just because as a defensive player, I would say their offense. Their quarterback is a super well-rounded guy. He can run the ball, throw the ball, and I feel like we're in for a good competition. So,
do you feel like you have something to prove in this game, that you might have been overlooked for playoffs, and you can make a statement with this?
Most definitely. I feel like if we can get a win right here, we can kind of show the committee what the Big 12 is really about. So.
Everyone's been focused on Bear's ankle. How's your ankle doing? and how much has the season been a battle for you? Just injury?
Honestly, kind of get banged up every game. It's kind of part of the game. And my ankle's been bugging me since, Colorado. But this week I think we can have maybe, has been good just because it allowed my body to recover. So.
How important are these extra practices for the team? Just to be together, but also build that camaraderie, and you don't know who's going to be here next year, and have these final workouts together.
I feel like the camaraderie's always been here. I feel like all the boys love each other, and we're willing to play for each other. So I feel like we're excited to get to Orlando. So.
As far as your future goes, have you made any definite decisions, or what's the process in that regard?
It's really just up in the air right now. I'm just trying to focus on the bowl game, and then I'll just figure out from there. So.
Who do you consult about that? Coaches, parents, friends?
I would just say my family mostly. I talk to my parents about it all the time, and I feel like it's just my best interest just to wait. So.
I assume you guys are going to Disney World. Were you a Disney kid growing up?
My favorite movie probably Cars.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've never been actually to Disneyland or Disney World, so I'm excited for the experience.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, Zay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, there is Isaiah Glasker, and now here is the head coach, Kalani Sitake, as they get ready to chase yet another win. 11-2 on the season. Can they get win number 12 and finish the season losing only to Texas Tech? Here is Kalani Sitake.
How do you feel practice has gone so far in this game?
Yeah, I think practice has gone really well. We need them for the development part of our players and getting some live work, at the end of practice. We got that done today, and it was good. It was kind of a good precursor to what we're going to see in spring ball probably. But I like the guys being able to, just get as many practices as we can. Obviously, there's things that we can still improve on, so it's all part of the work, and I'm thankful that we had the extra work to get it done. So it was nice.
Do you get a sense that this team's locked in like they were last year heading into the Alamo Bowl?
Oh, yeah. I think these guys love football. So, I mean, they're excited to play the game, and they're excited that we extended the season and that we, have a chance to do it with the seniors again. And we had to go to Orlando and have fun there. But at the same time, we know we're going there for a game. And so these guys are focused, and I feel good about the preparation. I think they'll be ready by the time we get there next week.
Is Bear back full go at practice?
He's practicing, yep. I mean, full goal, we still have a long time to get there, but we'll keep improving. I like what I've seen from the other quarterbacks too, so it's a process, but I thought he had a good practice today.
What about motivation for this team? Obviously, the disappointment of not making a playoff. What is the motivation? These guys are saying they want to get that 12th win, first time in 24 years, I think that would be.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of motivation. The guys, like I said before, they love football. Another opportunity to play. I mean, obviously everybody's going for the playoffs, but the truth is we have an opportunity to play again, and we have an opportunity to practice again. So last year, those bowl practices are really good in our development for this year, and this year this will be the same thing for next year. So it's good for the developmental guys. The guys are still underclassmen. For the seniors, good that we get to extend the season one more time. The disappointment that goes real quick. That goes away real quick when you have attitude of appreciation of what you get to do. So these guys love the game. They love that they get to represent the right way, and then they're more than anything, they're grateful that they get to play this game again.
Can you elaborate why the Pop Tarts Bowl is not a consolation? You said earlier this week. Some people might feel differently.
Yeah, it's a football game. So those people probably don't love football as much as we do and our fans do. So that's okay. I think everybody has their opinions. We love any other opportunity. I mean, when you sit there and you try to judge bowl games, I think bowl games are amazing. It's different than an away game because we have to spend more time there in the community. So we're a program that's based around connection to people, and so we're excited to go out there and do some service and hang out and get to know the community really well. And you never know, some of these guys might, in the professional world, might work or play and might live in that area. And so I don't know how many opportunities guys on our team have a chance to go to Orlando and actually get to hang out there and be treated like rock stars. That these guys are they're rolling out the red carpet for us, and we're really thankful for all that everybody's done and sacrificed so that we could play this game and enjoy all the festivities that are around it.
Kalani, for any of those players who have maybe NFL decisions to make, those guys, have any of them opted out for this game that you're aware of?
No, we haven't had any opt-outs, and I mean, there's still time between now and the game, but they're practicing, and I think the biggest issue is, can we get guys healthy and 100% by the time we get to the game? And is there enough practice time to get them ready? And right now, I think we're on a good trajectory for that. But there's a lot of different things and decision making that go into it. It's hard to generalize it in one statement. But we've been through this before, and so we want what's best for the players. And we think playing the game is going to be the best thing for them. Some of them are trying to overcome some injuries, so that's pretty much it. And if people are opting out or entering the portal, most of the time it's for playing time. And so that's kind of been the biggest reason. That's not just here, that's from other places too. So we'll just keep working with it, and I'm enjoying the practices and how much progress we've made since the last game.
What's your reaction?
Yeah, Brent Key's a really good coach, and he's an O-lineman, so they're going to be focused on running the ball. The quarterback runs the ball really well. I just like him, and the more I hear about him, I like him as a person even more. I mean, but he's a tough-nosed player that can throw the ball and can run. And so very similar to what we do. I think offensively they do a lot of things. I think we're similar in a lot of different ways, but more than anything, we're built on the same type of principles. So they're a tough team, man. It's going to require all of us being at our best, and we're looking forward to the game and the matchup and what it could bring out of us.
What's your reaction to your buddy Kyle Whittingham stepping down?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of knew that eventually he'd have to. And it's an inevitable part. We can't just keep playing or coaching for forever, even though we would like to. But for me, my reaction is just gratitude for everything that he's done. He's helped change the game of football, especially in this state, and he's been able to be a player under Lavelle here at BYU, and then what he's been able to do as a coach, as a position coach and a coordinator, and also a head coach. He's been connected to all those coaches, and so it's amazing his career, and just wish him the best in everything. Yeah, so that's. I mean, and I'm really happy for Morgan. Morgan's been head coaching waiting for a while, and this is his opportunity. He'll do great. I've been around him for many years. We worked together for 10 years, so it's a really good program, and they're in good hands with Morgan Scally.
Kalani, you were hired 10 years ago this week. I'm curious, just as you go into the next phase of your career here at BYU, being in the long-term extension, what's some of the biggest lessons you've learned that you feel like you want to change in the future with this program going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can say that in one answer, but I mean, I've learned a lot. And so in 10 years as a head coach, I think I came into it with a lot of ideas and thoughts, and a lot of them worked out, but some didn't. But I think I'm not afraid to try things, and I'm not afraid to be bold. And so going into the next, how many years I got left in coaching, I'll probably have the same type of attitude, but I've actually learned a lot the last 10 years, so I'm still trying to learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
And
that's Strawberry?
I don't know who's in there. Is that PK in there? You look good in that, Parker.
I assume you guys are going to Disney World. Do you have a favorite Disney character or movie?
I like it all. I'm a food guy, so if you ask me, well, how's that vacation? I usually say the food was really good, so I loved it. So yeah, for me, and then seeing my kids have fun, seeing the players have a good time, and allowing them to enjoy it with their families, it's going to be cool. I think, Christmas around the bowl time is a lot of fun, and that's kind of, I hope we have to deal with Christmas travel and all those things from here on out with the bowl games. I think the bowl games are an amazing opportunity. A player we're making memories that'll last them a lifetime, and for me, I played in those games, and so it's a great reward, but a great opportunity for everyone too.
Last one for Coach. We've had a handful of players already say that they're intending to enter the portal. How clear is that picture for the rest of the roster, like as far as what you know is going to be coming back next year?
Yeah, we have a good idea of what we have with our roster and the returning roster, and we know that there's going to be some attrition. Attrition is a little different now than it was in the years past, but we're working with all that. We're trying to communicate with all our players, allowing them to see where we see them on our depth chart, and what our expectations are of them, and sometimes it matches up, and sometimes they're looking for something different, and we want to help them as much as we can. I mean, we're excited about it. Once you're a Cougar, you're always a Cougar, so we want to help them whether they're here or they're moving on, and so that's always been our mindset. I mean, we were still connected to Jake Retzloff. He's getting ready to play this weekend, and we're going to be cheering him on, and really excited about him being in the playoffs. So there's nothing but love here, and communicating and making sure that we're all on the same page is going to be key.
You mentioned the development that can take place with these extra full practices in the game. How much of a difference does it make to have those and the extra game compared to the seasons where you haven't had those extra practices?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you have extra time with the players, it's even better. So, getting to that 6 and being, I mean, I know some teams opted out of playing a bowl game. For me, as long as we're bowl eligible, we're always going to play a bowl game because I need these practices. I need this opportunity to keep developing the program and bringing them along.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
All right, there's Kalani Sitake. Coming up, Utah State basketball coach Jerrod Calhoun's going to join us at 8:30. Ken Pomeroy scheduled to join us at 9 o'clock. Ken Pom from KenPom.com. We'll talk college hoops with him coming up. What is trending? The headlines are next.
It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know. News update. This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag Utah Jazz.
The Utah Jazz get the Los Angeles Lakers at home tonight. Keontae George looking to stay hot. 37 and 39-point games, but the Lakers, kind of a different deal here, PK.
Not
exactly the Mavericks in a rebuild.
Oh, no.
Lakers. Veterans winning about 2/3 of their games. Trying to win.
Reminds me of the 73 Lakers.
The 73 Lakers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
You're wrong.
Remind you of the 2024 Lakers.
I don't remember what
late
they were.
In the year.
I remember the 73 Lakers like it was yesterday.
What did they do that was so memorable?
Played ball at a high level.
Nice. That was very specific. Way to break it down.
I never played the game. Break it down, that's your job.
Lauri Markkanen, questionable with a groin injury.
Oh, no.
Is he routinely hurt? Are they tanking? Discuss amongst yourselves.
Well, if they're tanking, then they're starting to tank right now.
Right?
So I would say no.
Lakers coach J.J. Redick has challenged his star players to give more of an effort on the defensive end of the floor. It was good, Doncic said after practice Wednesday about talking with Redick. We talked about a lot, not just that, but he was right. You got to get a little bit more, especially than the star players, so that's on us. That's on me.
Yeah.
We just got to give more, especially at the start of the game. We got to start the game better.
I mean, everybody knows J.J. Redick was a lockdown defender.
That was really his rep.
Yeah.
That and running around the three-point line. Famous for practicing with a 4-point line to hit some really deep shots.
No such thing as a 4-point line.
Apparently they had one on a practice floor one year. Somebody took a photo. It was a big deal. All right, Jazz and Lakers tonight. A bigger test and without Markkanen. We'll see how that goes. DJ.
Whoa, you don't know he's not going to play.
He's questionable with a groin injury. Questionable is the first thing before out.
I think that's doubtful.
All right. You think he'll go?
Oh, I have no clue, but I'm not going to rule him out.
Okay. DJ and PK.
#NBA.
NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says the decision on possible expansion will be made sometime in 2026. Quote, I'd say in terms of domestic expansion, that's something we're continuing to look at. It's not a secret. We're looking at this market in Las Vegas. We're looking at Seattle. We've looked at other markets as well. I'd say I want to be sensitive about this notion that we're somehow teasing these markets because I know we've been talking about it for a while.
I think that's important. I mean, we need 2 more teams to tank.
It's critical that we get 2 more teams to tank.
Right.
2 more teams at the bottom, scuffling along.
Now, certainly I think Seattle has long since deserved a franchise. They got ripped off. One of the worst rip-offages of teams moving ever in all of sports.
It was bad.
Yes. And it hits home. You know, people who are older will say, if they're still alive, well, obviously, what about the Dodgers and Giants and all? Well, I don't remember that. I wasn't alive. Yeah. So,
but you didn't say it was the worst. You said it was among the worst. And so maybe those were right there on the same. The thing about Seattle is they got the whole, hey, we need you to rebuild this arena. So they rebuild the arena, they take on a bunch of debt, and before they're done paying off the debt, this isn't good enough. We need a new arena. Oh, we haven't finished paying off the last thing you demanded. Good grief. Freaking greedy.
Who demanded it? Who's
the
greedy?
League. David Commissioner was there, the owner.
Commissioner?
David Stern, the commissioner, and the owner at the time were the ones who demanded it.
They demanded it?
They demanded it.
Suppose they just gave him the finger. What are they going to do?
They did give him the finger. They couldn't do anything, and the team moved to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, that was with the new owner, though. We're fortunate that
we have a local owner who isn't. Yeah, the local owners haven't been motivated in the same way, right?
Yeah, and they didn't. So, I mean, I would love to see them get it because they deserve it. And it's funny about Vegas. Vegas was just, oh my gosh, couldn't do anything in Vegas. Now you want to do everything in Vegas.
Yeah, well, it used to be they are gambling there, but now people are gambling on their phones on sofas all over America. So they're over it.
Not on my sofa.
Nope. There are a few sofas.
As far as me and my sofa, we don't gamble.
As far as me and my sofa.
Yeah.
There's a phrase you didn't think you were going to utter 45 seconds ago. As far as me and my sofa. DJ and PK.
#NFL.
The refs are the worst because they're just some of the rules aren't, and like these guys are lawyers and like they want to be on TV too, bro. Like the game, you don't think he's texting his friends in the group chat like, "Yo, you guys just saw me Sunday Night Football." Like that was
no way.
Like that wasn't PI. Like, but I called it. I was like,
seriously, they do that?
I mean, these guys are normal human beings too.
In your mind, when you're not the quarterback of the Bengals next year,
I can't see that. No.
Have you ever both thought about the possibility of not being the quarterback here during your career, or?
You think about a lot of things.
There's Puka Nacua and Joe Burrow. Puka Nacua, the former Cougar. People just want to be on TV. Lawyers. Wow. You think he's going to get any iffy calls now that he's called out all the refs?
Well, he didn't call out any ref. And, he's kind of a... Well, how can you describe him? He's kind of a...
Free spirit?
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, okay. And so he speaks. Maybe he doesn't have the deepest thoughts before he speaks, and it didn't sound like it was an interview. I don't know what the format it was, but it sounded like it was just a bunch of guys yakking.
It was a live stream with 2 internet streamers.
I don't know what that means.
Journalism Today, PK. There's the media.
I know, but...
2 guys who stream a show.
What I know, but what?
I know.
Are they discussing serious topics, or are they just fooling around? It sounded like it was just fooling around, is what I'm saying.
That's what it is. It's a new form of entertainment these days. Like, these people just literally live stream their daily lives.
I don't know it was a formal interview making a sincere, heartfelt thought, comment, sentiment. So I would say no. It was just silly stuff. Telling dad jokes or something. That's what it sounds like to me. And these guys are on TV every week. Every game is televised. Yep. Every game.
Yep.
And I don't think that they look at that way. And then some of them, like, you brought up Hockey League, did bring up a little bit of a personality into it. But I don't know that I'm going to make this call so I can bring my personality into it. I would say no. I wouldn't think there would be a fine because it just sounds like he was goofing off.
Rams are playing tonight. They play the Seattle Seahawks. Both teams 11-3, first place in the NFC West, and de facto the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs on the line here. Rams already beat Seattle once, so if they win tonight, they are in awesome shape to clinch the number 1 seed. Seattle would be in pretty good shape. And if they stumble, though, then they'd go down a list of tiebreakers, and who knows. But big game for these two teams tonight to get to be home for the playoffs. Both teams are going to be missing key players. The Rams receiver Devontae Adams is listed as doubtful with knee and hamstring injuries. Seattle's left tackle Charles Cross has been ruled out with a hamstring injury. So nobody's healthy this time of year, PK. You also heard Joe Burrow there amid speculation surrounding how happy he is or isn't in Cincinnati. He says he can't see himself playing for another team next season. He's got a big contract. He's got a no-trade clause. It'd be hard to trade him, but it could be done. Seems like he's not willing to push the envelope yet. He's sitting on the no-trade clause, so he'll have to, at minimum, okay it, and maybe sometimes the club tells the agent, all right, go find a deal. So we'll see where that goes. Joe Burrow kind of opened that door a crack, and now the Cincinnati media is asking him about it nonstop. Former Ute and Cougar, Puka Nakua's brother Samson Nakua is one of 2 suspects arrested over the weekend after allegedly taking the SUV from Lakers forward Aduthiero without his consent. The vehicle was tracked to the Hotel Samson, and the other suspect were staying. Deputies arrested Samson at the hotel, and it's unclear when the vehicle might have been stolen. Titans rookie quarterback and 2025 first overall pick Cam Ward wants to be involved in the franchise's search for their next head coach. I want to meet all of them, Ward said of the next candidates. Every coach who gets the opportunity to come here, I want to have conversations throughout the process with them. I'm going to be here for that whole time. See at that stature yet, PK? Seems early to me.
I don't think he's achieved stature, but I appreciate his desire, and I think the point is he's trying to tell people I'm making a commitment to here. This is where I am. This is my home. This is my team, my franchise. I want, obviously, to do well, and I would like to be aware of what's going on. I think he's trying to be a leader, not trying to be pompous and achieve some status that he has yet to achieve.
They need a new coach. They're 2-12. It's been a long, difficult season for the Titans. DJ and PK.
#NHL.
Schmaltz out wide, shoots, rebound, they score! Clayton Keller stashes it in, and the Mammoth are out in front early in period number 2. Sergachev pinches down, finds Hayden, he looks in, shoots at the goal line, they score! Punched in by Dylan Gunther. Hayden got it to the front, and Gunther had the exclamation point on Utah's 3rd goal of the game.
We're playing a simpler game with more drive, with more net presence, with more dirty goal going in dirty area, and I think that pay off. And if you look at our first 2 goals, they're what I call blue paint goals, where you go to the net, and then after the rest open up, and then we had a few good plays here and there. But I think we need to keep going and make not the transition, because we work at it for a while, but we need to keep pounding the message and keep taking pride at doing it.
There's Andre Tourigny, the head coach, after the Utah Mammoth closed the road trip with a 4-1 win at Detroit, 2 in the second. Detroit scored early in the third. They get 2 goals in the last 5 minutes to win 4-1. Dirty goals. Dylan Gunther scores pretty goals with that slap shot, the one-timers and all that, but a poor clearance, a bad bounce for Detroit as the clearance hit the goalkeeper in the butt or the leg or whatever, and it fell to Dylan Gunther.
Are you trying to talk hockey?
Well, that's more a soccer word. I don't know. They probably got a hockey word for it.
A ricochet, a bounce. I mean, it was served up on a tee. You'll never get an easier goal.
Drifting right on the line there. A defenseman swatted off his teammate's butt. It fell right to Dylan Gunther, and he poked it home.
And then 31 seconds later, they got another one.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
You expect with Cooley out, the other guys, the big names, you got to step up and be the guy, and Clayton Keller got the opening goal, and Gunther got the goal that made it 3-1 there and seemed to pretty much put it away. So check those boxes. Big guys scoring big goals, getting a nice win on the road against a Detroit team that leads the Atlantic Division. So,
I knew you'd be breaking down the Atlantic Division.
Yeah. Utah's back home. New Jersey Devils coming in tomorrow night. Now, rank your hockey watching days back there in Jersey. Rangers 1, Islanders 2, Devils 3. Devils 2, Islanders 3. Rangers were the big dog, weren't they?
My particular watching?
Well, I assume they were there on channel. One of them had to be on Channel 9 when you were a kid.
I didn't watch.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
All zeros. I mean, I loved Eddie Jockman.
Okay.
Rangers. It was the Rangers.
Yeah. Devils tomorrow night. Mammoth back home at the Delta Center. And that is what is trending. And it's brought to you by Shamrock Plumbing. There's no job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. Jerrod Calhoun, Utah State basketball coach, coming up at 8:30. Ken Pomeroy, KenPom.com. At 9 o'clock, find out what he thinks of the locals in their non-conference seasons and how they're doing. We'll talk with Ken, see where he would seed BYU in the NCAA tournament if it started today. Ken's coming up at 9 o'clock. The question of the day, hot takes or toast, is next.
Utah's best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth. Here we go. From the guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history. You're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It is time for the question of the morning. LeBron James could be making his last appearance at the Delta Center tonight. Is it enough to make you feel sentimental about him? Rob, no. Patrick, nope. Glenn, not at all. Jason, doubt he plays at all. He'll probably have a hangnail. Yeah, I'm not feeling any sentimentality there, PK.
Oh, I am.
For him or for yourself?
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind?
Oof. Glad you enjoyed that.
You're laughing?
I'm laughing at you laughing, not at you singing.
I'm laughing at you, laughing at me, laughing at me.
I believe that.
Is that what you call that, singing?
Yeah. Sounds like someone stepped on your foot.
What do you mean? I mean, any sentimentality is for yourself. You have to feel sentimental. If you don't feel it for yourself, then it's not sentimental.
Well, I don't think... I think sometimes you feel for the other person. I get you feel it yourself, but you feel it on behalf of them. I think if you feel sentimental at a time like this, it'd be the passage of time. I'm getting older. There's another guy I remember. I remember when I didn't know who he was. Now, Chicho can't say that. Chicho's been basically playing LeBron's been playing his whole life.
No,
but for people of a certain age, we remember reading about him in Sports Illustrated when that was a thing, and he was like 16, and this is going to be the next big thing, and he has fulfilled the hype. He's won 4 championships. He's been awesome.
Sure. I don't feel that he's leaving the game right now. It's the fact that this will be literally, if he retires, and I had been told last year that this was going to be it from my LA people, we'll see, that this would be his last time in Salt Lake City. If it was the last time he'd walk off the court, then I would feel a sense of, oh, man, that's another mark of me getting older, blah, blah, blah. But not in this case. I think it's just about him being in town, and he likely, if he retires, would never be here, obviously in a basketball playing sense. He may show up for whatever it might be. Who knows? Maybe he'll buy into the Jazz like Dwayne Wade. Who knows what's going to happen as far as that goes. But the fact that he's going to be here playing potentially for the last time, yeah, I do feel sentimental. Not in terms of getting older, because he still has 4 or 5 months to go if he retires. Maybe at that time, when we get to the spring, and if he should, depending on how far the Lakers go, that might be something a little bit different. but just the fact that here, he was here as a youngster many years ago, and this could be the end, and he's had an illustrious career. I understand the LeBron hate, I guess you could call it. I don't personally have any because I just look at these guys as athletes. LeBron James, to me, is not a civic leader. Steve Kerr is not a civic leader. They're just a coach and a basketball player. Now, they can do whatever they want, and they can voice their opinions on whatever they feel they want to do. I'm fine with the premise of that. I particularly don't care what they have to say because I don't look at them as leaders. You're a basketball coach. You've done nothing to prove you're a leader in the community. Steph Curry, whomever you want, whatever side. So, because if I do that, and then I'm going to let those guys, I don't like you anymore. Well, then where do I stop? Then I pretty much, if I were to say that, hey, what LeBron has been saying really bugged me, which then would be I would be coming to it from a political angle that's towards the right. Well, then I'm probably not going to watch any movies. I'm probably not going to read any books. I'm not going to listen to much music.
I was going to say, there's a few musicians now you can't listen to because you don't like their politics.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't go into that.
Yeah, that'd be tough. You could go to a movie with 3 big stars. Well, I really don't like 2 of them.
Yeah.
But one of them I really do, so what do? I'm only going to enjoy parts of this movie.
So I tend to ignore that stuff and don't worry about that. I mean, they're entitled to their opinion just as much as I'm entitled to mine. And so I look at him as a ball player, and he's been a heck of a ball player. And I've enjoyed watching him play ball because he's really good.
So but I think there's a third thing to this. First off, absolutely, he's really good. He's one of the all-timers. And Andrew says, it'll be very interesting to see what we think of LeBron in 10 years. Right now, everyone loves to hate him. I'm looking forward to the day where we can look back and agree that he's one of the best NBA players of all time. Even if you hate him, he's one of the best players of all time.
Why can't you do that right now?
And I look forward to seeing him play at the Delta Center tomorrow. He does. Andrew does.
Yeah.
And he gets, but emotions.
But I don't need time.
But emotions over time do tend to cool off. We've seen players.
But I don't have
coaches,
any emotions toward him.
You don't. But Andrew is acknowledging other people do, and you know other people do. That's why you put the post up. So Andrew's thinking some of those people will cool off over time, and he hopes the general perception. But I think if you set aside, okay, he is great at basketball, yes, and set aside some people love his politics and some people hate him, and so set that aside. The other thing that's part of his legacy here is the whole player empowerment and moving around. And I think that is where you get some real sentimentality in sports. And certainly I saw it growing up in San Diego. Tony Gwynn played for one team forever, and people loved him for it. And
but that's what he chose to do.
Right. LeBron moving around, there's a segment we can do another day. Does he go into the Hall of Fame as a Cavalier?
You don't do that in basketball.
As a Heat? Or as a Laker? It doesn't matter. It's a sports radio segment. I know you don't have the baseball hat the same way you do in baseball. I know. But but the moving around has bugged people. And the player having the leverage and even the old-time players have complained about it.
So the owner should have the leverage?
Yeah, well, depending on who you are. LeBron says no, and Barkley and his generation say, yeah, well, that's what the owner should have leverage, although that's essentially what they're saying. But you should stick together and you should work through it. Why? LeBron's like, well, I'm a free agent. I'll go. Put together a team somewhere else. And he's won everywhere. I mean, he went to Miami, won twice. He put together a team in Cleveland, went back and won one, and he went to L.A. and won one. The bubble one, so you can dismiss that if you want, but that's the one he got.
I don't look at that as the be-all, end-all. Because if I have to look at that, then I have to downgrade the statues. And I don't know that I'm willing to do that. So,
do you think LeBron, because you did bring it up, I hadn't thought about this, I was thinking more about tonight, but flash forward to the playoffs, and we don't know where or when it would end or if this is absolutely positive of this last year, but he's in the end of his contract, and it seems to make sense the way things are going. Let's assume it is. Does he get what Stockton got if they get eliminated on the road? When he subs out of the game, everybody knows, and they go berserk.
He should.
Yeah. They went crazy in Sacramento, and there'll obviously be a lot more talk about this than that.
He helped build the game. The superstars
do that. Right.
And actually, I can argue he helped build it more than others by moving around. Because he brought his act
to your time zone,
to various parts of the country. And while he was there, now I don't think the problem with him in Los Angeles is that he's not going to be revered to the level of Magic and Kobe.
And we're back to the sentimentality. One player, one team, one jersey.
Yeah.
Don't even have to ignore Michael Jordan, the Wizard years, which they do in Chicago at the drop of a hat.
So those two were drafted. One was a trade, but you get the point on draft night, basically. And so they are nothing but. So I think there's a greater connection there. And LeBron forfeited that. It's like these college kids. What are they going to be? You start moving along. Sam Levitt will go to a third school. What is he? He's nothing.
Sam Levitt.
He's highly paid.
Sam Levitt, independent corporation.
Yeah.
Which I think, tracking back to this, is I was trying to figure out, I don't feel sentimental about LeBron coming, and why is it? And I think pro athletes, independent corporation, I mean, maybe a little bit for yourself because you do feel the passage of time, but other than that, no. Like LeBron's had an awesome run. He's lived up to the hype, gets to go into the next phase of his life to probably be a businessman. He wants to be a billionaire. He wants to own a team. There's rumors about him, speculation about him in Vegas, that he'd own a chunk of that team. It's funny, like the more money you build up and he sets a goal, but the value of the team just escalates so quickly. It's like, awesome, you're making a ton of money and you're investing in it, and that money is making money, and you still can't catch up to the price of a team.
Yeah, I don't feel any sympathy for him for that.
I know. I just think it's weird. I don't feel any sympathy for any of that. He's had an awesome career. He's leaving largely on his own terms. He's leaving while he's still really good. He's not great anymore, but he's still really good.
Yeah, I feel a sense of sentimentality that he'll never come through town because every time he came through town, it was an event.
It was a show.
And this would be the last
Early
time.
on. Yeah.
So I don't understand how you wouldn't feel.
Young LeBron going for 50.
Yeah, every single time he came through.
2006 or 7. Yeah.
He was an event unto himself. He had that ability to create a stir no matter where he played, who he played for, whatever the situation is. He had the spotlight. And there's very few that you can say that, and he's one of them. So he's an all-timer in every sense of the word, in every form of description and definition, and this could be the last time. Sure, yeah. It's not like I'm sad, but there's a form of sentimentality that this is it. If I wanted to see LeBron in person tonight, likely is the last time. Because I don't think the Lakers are going to re-sign him. So where are you going to go? And he has the stature and such that I don't see him taking a reduced rate to come off the bench. It's not going to be like that.
Yeah, if that's true, if he's not willing to take a reduced rate for a lesser role, he's not going to get the most money for the biggest role. Nobody's going to do that.
I don't know.
The only place maybe he'd do it, would he go back to Cleveland?
No.
They're good, and could he push them over the top?
Yeah, Cleveland is struggling big time.
They have fallen off this year big time. Yeah.
So they already got 13 losses, and driving in, I haven't verified this. They said that last night was their 13th loss, and they didn't get their 13th loss until March last year.
Yeah, they were flying last year.
So I don't know that
they're no longer close enough. Even that wouldn't tempt him.
I mean, they're 7 games behind the Pistons, is what they were talking about. I don't look at the standings. It's way too early to be worried about the standings for me. And what's the difference? The standings are just what they are. I don't care about them. The seeds are numbers. Who plays better when the playoffs? That's all I'm interested in. Not whether you're a 2 seed or a 3 seed. It makes no difference to me. So from that perspective, no, I think that ship has sailed. You're going to go back a third time. No, I think as a superstar, of the highest level, which he is and has been, I think it's in his best interest just to ride off at age 41 or 42.
I would think that's the most likely thing here. He is clearly, from interviews he's given, he's clearly a basketball historian and loves all that stuff. And he doesn't – I can't imagine he has any appetite for being Hakeem Olajuwon with the Raptors or Patrick Ewing with the Sonics.
Yeah, or even letter carrier with the Lakers.
Yeah.
So in that form, this is the last time he's going to come through as an NBA player. And that I think that's noteworthy. And if he had announced it, then they would make some type of tribute. But he hasn't announced it yet. So that won't be. But at the same time, it'll be likely the end. And it's always an event when he comes in and he's in our town. And this town always likes to have some form of national spotlight. Well, he brings it to you. He allows you to have that. And who knows what he's going to do. I think he's enjoyed playing here because he likes the passion of the fans. And these guys at this level tend to be villains. Even if they're not, they're not really villains in the world. I mean, I don't know what he's done.
But inside the arena during the game.
Yeah, in a sports sense.
Right.
When you think about it, what he's done, and I don't know his entire personal life, nor am I going to hold him up to be some form of a saint. No, at the same time, I'm not going to think he's some dog either. But to be born with a single mother who's like 15, 16 years older than you and go through those struggles that I can only imagine, not having gone through anything close to that myself, and to be where he is. If you want to delve into his personal life, which I am very, very hesitant to do, I can have a form of admiration that he didn't be a shambles. I mean, look at Allen Iverson. Same situation. Well, it seemed like he had something in the way every step of the way. There's always some kind of drama with him.
And you can probably track it back to lifelong trauma.
Yeah,
Born
exactly.
into a traumatic situation.
Right. Exactly. Yes. I have firsthand experience with that in my own home.
And it is hard to shake the trauma.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do some serious work and therapists.
Right.
And
yeah.
It's hard.
Right. Yeah.
But to your point, LeBron doesn't
seems like he rose above it.
It does. It seems like for whatever reason and however he did it, he seems to have shaken that off and gotten to a place of stability in his life that you wouldn't automatically assume if you hear how it started.
No, I can admire that. And for all the crap and heat, probably justifiably in terms of ability Bronny takes, I'm not sure he's an NBA player, but it seems like he's a decent person, which in the end, that's what matters more than how many points you score and how much money you make. And did LeBron have an influence on that? I assume yes. I mean, I'm not there, so I don't know, but I assume yes. And with all these absentee fathers and stuff across the board, he's not. So can I admire that? Because he's got a political opinion over here that I may disagree with? Who cares? And he supports this candidate, and I may support that. That's what it's about. He has every right to do that. So I can, from his ball playing, and I can find other ways. If I want to delve, I can't just isolate off the court. Oh, I don't like that. So, man, I hate him.
Yeah, you can. Just be super selective.
What about all this other stuff I just said?
The part that resonates with people is probably the part where it crosses over with their own. It's how it works for me. I think it works like this for a lot of people, where it crosses over with their own lives. And a nephew who is really close to and is really young has had 2 negative paternal influences in his life, and that is probably a massive understatement. And my nephew's now in his 30s. It's had a massive impact on his life. It's been super destructive. I can point back to specific things that were done and specific things that weren't done and think that was a massive pothole in the road of this nephew's life. Massive. And that, to your point about Bronny, that Bronny seems to be such a good dude and well-adjusted, and his college teammates and coaches and high school coaches and teammates seem to speak well of him and all that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. That LeBron helped, and, nobody does it by themselves. It takes a village to raise a kid. 100%.
Thank you, Hillary.
Yeah, 100% believe that.
I knew you would go to Hillary. I knew you'd quote her.
She gets credit for inventing that. I don't think she invented it. I think she popularized it, but she didn't invent it.
Popularized it?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I know the impact school teachers had on my kids, and I couldn't do the things they did for them. And so thank goodness they were there to do them for them.
Let's give it up for my old lady.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
And I got my teaching certificate.
Yeah, maybe you a little bit.
Yeah, I don't get credit for anything. I don't deserve credit for anything. I've gone the other way.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. You got to look at the whole package of the man. I tend to look about 85, 90% ball playing, and he's been a heck of a player. And don't tell me you wouldn't want him in his prime on the Jazz.
Of course you would.
Yes.
Of course you would.
Yes.
He was the best player in the game for years.
Yes.
It's like, this is why I can't get into the whole MVP, Coach of the Year thing. It's like, you pick them out, and I get why they do it, and it's fun to do it, but it's like, well, LeBron should have won it, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 years in a row or something. I have to go back and look.
That's just a minor discussion point.
Yeah. But it's going to get passed around to other players who are popular and having great years, but at the peak of his game, he's awesome, and he's still really good.
Yeah, and he would have been, he's the type of player that would have elevated the NBA if he played 15 years for the Jazz. He didn't need to be in South Beach, in Los Angeles, or wherever he was the biggest thing. This Charlotte, whomever, Utah, Milwaukee. This is probably some other smaller markets that are not coming to mind off the top of my head. And I already did it in Cleveland. He would have been, because he was that good.
New Orleans.
Memphis. Yeah, a football market in New Orleans, where it's the Saints and LSU and whom else, right?
The Saints and LSU.
Yeah.
And back to the Saints and back to the Tigers.
Right. And so he was just that big. And especially here, are you kidding me? He would have flourished here, and he would have been so big. It would have been real, and I hope someday they can get literally the best player in the game, because it won't. The NBA would be just fine with it. Maybe you can argue, it would have been bigger. I get that, but how big do you need to be? Sure, if he would have been 25 and in Los Angeles, it would be bigger than being in Salt Lake. I get that, but it would still be really, really big if he played here. And my gosh, he would have been revered more so than the statues, because he was just better than them, and he is better darn near about everybody.
Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. Rank them. That's what it comes down to. Magic and Bird have an odd place in the game, and maybe it was timing. I mean, they did get to the game when it needed a massive boost and it was struggling. If they'd been born later and LeBron or MJ or Kobe had been born earlier, they would get to assume that role.
Well, yeah, I think you just flip it, because whatever is in the world today is bigger than what was then. So it's...
But the timing of then was spectacular.
Yes, but I don't think that it was exclusively them and only them who could have done it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If LeBron had come first, or if MJ had come first, or if Kobe and MJ or Kobe and LeBron had come at the same time and had a rivalry, Magic and Bird benefited from timing. The game was way down. They're perfect rivals. They went to the perfect teams. They also had the careers they had to do what they did. But the game was just in a different place for the guys who came along, who you can easily say, okay, there's the best player in the game for X amount of years, however many you want to pick. 5, 7, 10, whatever.
To answer your question, I'd probably go...
MJ 1.
Jordan 1, LeBron 2, Kobe 3. And it bothers me to have to do that. because I loved watching Kobe play. And that's the thing about, back to your comment, because of his premature death, that sentimentality weighs heavy on me. And it's a shame, obviously, on every possible front, because I think that Kobe, if he were alive today, would be a huge benefit to the world, particularly with female sports.
He was clearly going in that direction.
Because of his daughters.
The stuff he was doing with his daughters, right, and the stuff he was doing in the media. Some people have the personality, they want to go away. Tim Duncan wants to go away. Okay, you do. Kobe didn't, but he was doing cutting edge stuff with ESPN and basketball. It was super interesting. It was very well done. He got a good team around him. He did good stuff. I watched it. I was like, wow, this is different.
The world lost something.
Yeah.
With that helicopter crash.
And more sentimentality. I guess that's one of the reasons I'm not being sentimental about LeBron is I don't feel like he's gotten cheated out of everything. He's gotten everything he could have gotten out of all the hype and promise he had. Not hype, but of all the promise he had.
Yeah, but I mean, we often make a big deal out of the first time, when really we should be making a bigger deal out of the last time, because the last time then is no more.
That was special, and it's not coming this way again.
Yeah, and I think it needs to be recognized.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, Jerrod Calhoun, Aggie basketball coach, is going to join us. At 9 o'clock, Ken Pomeroy from KenPom.com coming up. And bags of cash echoing through. We'll get to that at the top of the hour. Stay with us, DJ and PK. It's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Over 2 decades of sports radio dominance in Utah. It's my favorite. This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The artist of the day today, Kurt Bester, making Christmas albums since 1988. Brought to you by Live Nation. For all the live concerts and events in 2025, check out livenation.com.
And Winter Wonderland is not a Christmas tune. I'll go to my grave saying
that's it.
It's a snow tune. It's a winter tune, but it's not a Christmas tune. And I hate it.
You do not hate it. Oh, man. All right, today, Kyle Whittingham finally speaks. Utah's done everything through press releases, PK. We're going to hear words today. Maybe 2.5 to 3 minutes worth of words, but words nonetheless. What do you expect? What do you want to hear?
Well, I think that under the circumstances, because there has been no formal press conference, and that today they have media availability leading up to a bowl game, that the bowl game today, the question's who cares? I mean, we've got
the bowl game's not the story.
No, you can go down the week of after Christmas and talk about the bowl game in preparation for the Nebraska thing. Today, it's all about were you forced to resign? Did you want to resign? I mean, these are legitimate questions, and I think the U of U has to understand, and Kyle, for that matter, has to understand that that's what people want to know. Why did you retire now? Is this something you really wanted to do? And are you interested in continuing to coach? Those are the two. Why now? We know that they already decided Morgan, so that's not really a story as far as that goes. And it is interesting that they said, if I remember the release or their thing was Kyle and select players, but no Morgan. It seems that they should have something for Morgan, even though he's got to go another 2 weeks from yesterday before he's really the coach. Maybe they'll have something 1st of January, and that's fine if that's the case. I don't have really that big of a problem with it. But it's all about Kyle, and did you want to go another year? Why now? And are you interested in continuing to coach if the situation is right? He's a man who always said never say never. So maybe that's the case.
I've heard that expression.
Yeah, from
him.
Yeah,
he's said it many times.
He's very consistent in the stuff that he says. Yep. It's not like in 2015, he said something dramatically different than now in philosophical ideas and what he believes in. But those are the two overwhelmingly pressing questions, and they need to be answered. I don't know if they need to be. I guess they need to be answered, but I don't know that he has to answer them. You can always just say no comment, but they need to understand, and he needs to understand, these questions absolutely need to be asked. And then it's up to them and him how he wants to respond. He's under no moral obligation to provide an explanation.
But the questions need to be asked.
The questions need to be asked. If you're a media member, you have to, and it doesn't matter who asks it. Somebody's got to ask it.
But these are the questions the audience wants to know the answer to, and as a media member, it's your job to
I'll ask it. You'll ask it. Josh Furlong will ask it. Steve Bartle will ask it.
Somebody will ask it.
Yeah, somebody will ask it. I mean, and they'll have today. They'll have, because they didn't have any form of a press conference, they'll have more media than they normally have. Everybody and every outlet will be there.
I would expect that's all true.
Yeah. They actually should have it in the Monday meeting room, where rather than up against the brick wall and everybody's jammed in.
Who can get there first and get their microphone closest to Kyle's mouth so they don't get a bunch of random sound.
Right.
Because what are the odds the jugs machine will be going?
Well, depending on where they have it. If they have it inside, the indoor versus the outdoor.
If it's outdoors.
Then that stupid machine is always going. Get a longer extension cord. Move it down about 10 yards.
They want it to be as uncomfortable as possible, be as short as possible.
I don't know
sound
about
as bad
that.
as possible.
I disagree with that. I don't think they thought it through. Nor do they. You can argue they don't care, but I don't think we're going to set it there just so we can impede sound. I don't think they're that devious. And maybe I'm naive, but you got to think that through. I just don't think they thought it through.
Okay, but after 10 years, you could have changed it.
You got me there. But
that
goes to
good.
where they don't care, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to make that argument. But I don't think we're going to set it right there so that TV stations hear the sound of the ball going through the jugs machine and the receivers 10 yards away. And, that noise that it makes. I get that. For print people, they don't really care because they're not. Although they should.
So they have to transcribe the quote.
No, I think they probably have video these days.
Oh yeah, that's where everything's going.
I think it's already there. But so those are the overwhelming two questions, and it's going to dominate. Nobody gives a crap about Nebraska, and then there'll be some other questions that are pertinent. Is Fano going to play? I mean,
how many guys
already said he was going to go to the NFL. Does that mean he's not going to play?
How many guys are opting out? That's got to be asked. Kalani got that question yesterday. We played it earlier.
Yeah.
He said nobody so far.
Yeah, and it's up to the guys. You can go to the NFL and still play.
Right. And he said there were guys with some health issues they had to get healthy, so maybe there's some overlap there. They don't have to opt out because they're not healthy.
Yeah.
And they don't have to give injury reports for the bowl games. They only have to do that for conference games. So there isn't going to be any injury update I wouldn't expect.
And that's sort of secondary. But the Kyle's past and future are the overwhelming questions, and he'll answer them as he sees fit to answer them. It's the same thing like with Dillingham. They've been having media availability, and they want to know about Michigan.
Yep. And what does he say?
Who cares about Duke? You know what I mean?
No, he's had 2 good years here, and they want to have. Yeah. They want him for more.
Yeah, your season isn't going to be made or broken by winning or losing against Duke.
It's not going to be defined by the Duke game. 8-5 Duke is not going to define Dillingham's legacy or his future.
His latest issue was that it's my job to do everything I can for this program, meaning I am considering Michigan, if nothing else, or mostly as
leverage
to light a fire.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody wrote that when Dillingham meets with the president as Dr. Crow, he's been there forever. I think he was there when I was there. He's 70 years old.
Yeah.
But he's been there a long, long time. That Dr. Crow said the phone should ring and he should then say, Coach, I need to take this. This is Kyle Whittingham on the line. And they literally mentioned his name.
Kyle to the Devils.
And Kyle may have received a text here recently with the logo of Sparky.
Who would have done such a thing?
I'm not going to name names.
Oh, okay. I think you just did. For everybody's following along.
Which would be awesome if that's what he wants to do. I mean, I'm going to support the guy whatever he wants to do. And if he wanted to do that and Dilly went to Michigan, so be it. And Kyle wants to do it for 3 or 4 years, I'll go pick him up and drive him.
Like LeBron in that regard, he's gotten everything out of it for all the hype and all the expectations. But if he wants to keep going, keep going. If LeBron wanted to keep going, well, keep going.
I think
I don't think
LeBron chose to go other places.
Right.
If Kyle left,
chose to stay until now.
Right. Then that would let that he was recommended minimally. I don't think he was forced to resign. Maybe you can argue recommended, but that's just my own personal opinion.
Encouraged?
Hey, we'd like you to do this because it's time for Morgan to take over. Which actually, if that were the case, I would think more highly of the guy. That's a selfless decision.
Stepping down, he left the door open with that choice of words. And he chooses his words carefully.
Oh, yeah, he's a smart dude. He's got a master's degree.
All right.
Do you have one?
Absolutely not.
Do I have one?
Probably.
Not.
Oh, okay.
My old lady has
you got
one.
the teaching certificate. You didn't get the master's.
Correct. I did not get the master's. And I hope Scott Jerrod is listening. My wife got it from the prestigious institution known as Cal State Dominguez Hills.
I didn't know that story for the longest time. That entertains me. You two driving around. What were you down in L.A. for?
Pac-12 Media Days.
Okay. And driving around, and he sees there's a lot of, I think there's 40 now Cal State schools spread across the state.
Yeah.
And some of them are higher profile because they play sports. But some of them are
Toros
playing
play sports.
Some of them are playing D2 sports.
I covered games there.
But they're D2.
Correct.
So they don't get a lot of pub. So somebody in Utah or Idaho might not know about them because they have a Division II league. They pretty much just play in California.
Somebody who went to Utah State is making fun. And he
Cal State Dominguez Hills.
Out of the blue, I'm taking him down to the harbor. We're going to go eat at a Mexican restaurant right down on the water where I used to live.
Yeah.
And that's where we were going. And he's driving, and out of the blue, he says, hey, who ever heard of Cal State Dominguez Hills? I don't know why he said that. We had like a 20-minute drive, and we passed other signs for Little Marymount or whatever, and then he takes a shot at them where my wife got her master's degree, I might add, on the campus of Cal State Dominguez Hills, which is where they have the soccer stadium right there.
Where the Galaxy play.
Yeah. And it's in Carson.
Yep.
Yeah, so on him.
Well, he needs to follow the old CCAA, and then he'd be up to speed on Cal State Dominguez Hills. What's their nickname?
The Toros. I just said it.
I already forgot.
Jeez.
All right, when we come back. Still ahead, we got Jerrod Calhoun coming up at 8:30. And when we come back, it's Living On, PK, the tweet that just won't go away. Careful what you throw out there on social media. Bags of cash. Next. Stay with us.
Nobody brings you better coverage of the teams you're passionate about than these guys.
Try some more.
This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK brought to you in part by Minky Couture. Get the best blankets and gifts ever and save 50% this season with the promo code ZONE50. Shop online at minkycouture.com or visit any of their 6 locations. Got a question up on our Facebook page. Is Pacific AD right in tweeting BYU's basketball team is just a bunch of players with bags of cash? Well, we left that whole sentimentality thing behind. Let's talk bags of cash, PK. Yes, David says, but they're winning. Go Cougs, 3 exclamation points. Anybody with money can do it. And Gary, yep, bags of cash and hopefully bags full of trophies.
Yeah, but what's the trophy?
Well, he put trophies plural. I guess he wants them all. Regular season Big 12 title, conference tournament title, NCAA tournament title. Bring them on.
The problem with that is the first two don't mean it as much. They're nice, but they're preliminaries.
Yep.
This team, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, is that it's certainly Final Four or bust. And I wonder if that happens, it would just be absolutely awesome, no doubt about it. But if you don't win it all, is it a disappointment? And if you do win it all, what level of excitement would there be?
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Thank you, Adele.
I just don't know that you can go that crazy when a team is purchased. And we'll see it with Texas Tech.
I think they'll go crazy.
Sure, but when that's the destiny of you're supposed to do it, is it really the same thing as
because,
like the Devils last year?
Because in the pros, we see this with big money. You wonder, everyone goes crazy, right? The Dodger fans go crazy, the Dodger players go crazy. But do you think deep down, especially for like executives and manager, maybe a couple star players, think it's more relief?
Yes.
Than it is excitement.
It's
like you're such an overwhelming favorite. See, that's the thing. Although they spent a lot of money, I don't think BYU is an overwhelming favorite. So I think there'd be more joy.
Well, no one is an overwhelming favorite.
There's that. It's the nature of that tournament makes it difficult to be an overwhelming favorite. UConn recently probably came as close as anybody.
I think the Dodgers was more about the nature of the series. It was an all-time series.
Yeah, it was classic.
If it would have been 4-0, it wouldn't have been as big of a deal.
All the crazy plays at home plate, at second base, the ball stuck under the wall. There were so many things that happened.
Just
Phenomenal.
in Game 7 alone.
And that's just game. And in Game 7.
We're not talking about Game 6.
Just having a Game 7 is magical. And then to have these crazy things happen in Game 7.
Yes.
And that does discount
like 10 things.
The previous 6 games.
And so whoever won that was going to go berserko. But I wonder, because if you don't get it, then you can't spin it as, wow, this was a great season. Can BYU, if they do not win it all, can they spin it as a great season?
If they're Final Four, they can. If they're Sweet 16, I don't see how.
Okay, how about Elite 8? I'll meet you in the middle.
I don't know. We'll have to see what it looks like when we get there.
Well, Elite 8 is Elite 8.
I'm torn on Elite 8.
All right, you can be torn.
But there could be upsets and a much easier path.
Doesn't
and you could
matter.
but you could also, depending on seedings, have to beat 2 big dogs to get there. I don't know.
They're a big dog. So a big dog beating a big dog, whoop-de-doo. Why, you shouldn't forget, we took down you're a big dog.
But that's the whole thing. How many big dogs are there in college hoops right now?
Give me the ones who spend the most money, and I'll draw the line to there.
So 6, 8, 12, 20? I don't know where you draw the line. And that'd be something to ask Ken Pomeroy's coming up. We'll ask him. We'll ask Jerrod Calhoun. How many big dogs are there?
Yeah, but I think it's financially driven. I don't think Ken Pomeroy puts out numbers in terms of salary.
No, but I do think that he talks to people and might have an idea, ballparks of what teams are spending.
The fact is, BYU's got guys who are drawing salaries.
Yes.
You can spin it anyway. Oh, but the university doesn't do it, and this isn't our mission, and we love people. Yeah, I got it. They're education people,
and that's all cool. But until you get to the $5 million number,
those kids are drawing salaries.
Until you get to $5 million, AJ DeBonce isn't coming. Once you get to $5 million, now he's weighing all the other stuff.
Yeah,
but you got to pay the money to get in the final group.
They're not employees of the university, but they're getting paid to play. And they want to insist we don't pay to play, but yet you do. And stop it. No one believes you. The only people who believe you are the people that you are working with. The rest of the world doesn't believe it. So this AD, he's right. They are walking bags of cash.
He is right.
Yeah.
And a lot of that, Larry, I mean, he's not wrong. They do have bags of cash.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that, and I don't know how old this guy is or what his ambitions are, but the second he works his way up the ladder and gets to be the AD at, just as an example,
At a power school.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. This is the system.
He'll flip in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's where his career goes.
Right. If he ends up at that level.
So last night, I turned on the TV, flipping around. Vanderbilt was playing Memphis, kind of an in-state game. But the three other, Vandy's ranked 13th. Memphis isn't ranked. The other three games involving ranked teams, they were all somebody who wanted a bag of cash going to schools to play players who had bags of cash. This is the system now. Why did St. Francis at 2-10 go to Florida? Bags of cash, and they lost by 41. Awesome. Why did Campbell come from North Carolina all the way to Gonzaga?
Okay, but that's not the system now. That's always been the system.
Bags of cash. Well, the difference is what door they go through. At Orgeron.
No. Not for St. Francis.
The money school, as far as money games in December.
They need those games.
Yeah, they need those games.
We talked to Eric Kerr yesterday, and he talked about how, Weber State literally needs those types of games. They're sacrificial lambs in those games because they have to finance the athletic department.
And Bronco Mendenhall came on our show and said
he doesn't want two.
Two, and traveling all to play SEC teams is crazy. You can play one and play in the West and not have the travel. And
he's right.
Not be as disruptive.
For Utah State, that would suck to have to do that. Because you can argue, well, they're 6-6 right now. Well, they're 6-4.
Well, I'd say 5-4 then, and I would argue that. I think you're right, but they had a money game also.
Yeah, I know, but they always play those.
Right, and they always play that. I think 3 games were determined because of money. They were always going to go 1-2. They were going to win the one, and they were going to lose the other 2. And those contests were all made. Those contracts were signed because of money.
Yeah,
they had 9 games that were competitive, and they went 5-4 in those 9.
Except their money game, they're not handing out the kind of money.
No, they are.
They're getting.
It's all done at a smaller scale. They don't have as much, but the school that comes in needs it, and the school that comes in is going to get beat, and they are never going to go back to that school. I get it's all done on a lower scale. I totally agree with that.
I don't know how much they.
It's still. How much you knew the second you're smart, and you knew the second you saw it on their schedule, they were going to win that game.
I don't even know who it was against.
I don't remember either. I can look it up, but you knew they were going to win it.
Yeah. All right, I'll concede that. The fact is that you're going to get this type of money, and you need to have this type of money to be available to compete. Now, certainly, BYU is well within their rights, and they should put up the fact that DeBonta chose BYU.
Because he had other people who met that $5 million threshold, and they were in the finalists. And then all the other stuff they talk about comes in. And the fact that Kevin Durant vouches for the BYU coach, Kevin Young, that's a big deal. And that gets him across the finish line against
Durant, Booker, and Chris
against
Paul.
The small group of schools that are finalists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And why weren't other schools finalists? Well, they didn't have the $5 million worth of cash.
I assume.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with BYU touting, hey, he chose us.
Right. Because there were other people with big bags of cash who wanted him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess at the end of the year, what will they be able to sell? How many teams did they beat who were in that circle? I mean, if you only beat teams outside that group, so what? You're supposed to win all those games. I can now look at the schedule and say, okay, you're going to win those games.
Well, I think they will beat some of those because they're in the Big 12.
And they'll get to play Arizona. They'll get to play Kansas. Iowa State. Iowa State's good.
Baylor pays big money.
Baylor.
Yeah. So they'll have that opportunity.
Houston. Why did I leave out Houston? Houston's in that mix.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're not going to lose every one of those games. They're going to hold their own.
But I was thinking more of the NCAA tournament. Whoever they draw in the tournament, and do they beat those teams? Because you assume the first couple of rounds, they're not going to face those teams because they're going to be seeded well. And we can talk with Ken Pomeroy about this.
Most likely.
Right.
Most likely, yes.
But by the time you get to the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, you're probably bumping into other teams that have heavily invested, and any other AD could have said bags of cash.
And that's the thing of that, where much is given, much is expected. So much has been given to these guys, so much is expected. And with that in mind, I don't think you can celebrate a Sweet 16 appearance this year.
I don't think you run into the bags of cash teams at that point. You're not playing on the same tier.
Can you celebrate Elite 8? I think you can.
Let's see what it looks like. They don't get there very often, but everything has changed.
But the problem with that celebration is short-lived. It's only a day.
Right. You win on Thursday, and then on Saturday you got to turn around and play again.
Right.
It's winning the weekend games because then you have.
Get the whole
it
week.
Seems like there's a whole week of hype and build up. And
there is I lived it in the 90s.
Yeah, to the point that some schools don't even want to put their kids back on campus. They're just like, oh no, it's going to go straight to their head. It's like, let's find a way to stay on the road.
Yeah, I don't know how much. You can go home. I don't know how much are on campus anymore these days.
That's true.
Anyway,
yeah, there's so many.
The world has changed.
The world has changed.
So you may have one class or something. As far as that goes, I mean, they're not. If they go to the Final Four, that doesn't start till the following Saturday, so they're not going to go. I don't even know where the Final Four is this year. They're not going to.
We better find that out. Book your trips now. We'll see.
It's hard for me to just label a team that doesn't get to the Final Four as a failure, but at the same time, this is a new world, and you got this kid that it's going to be hard to replicate him. Because he still had to choose BYU.
He did. He had other finalists. Right. That's why he was sitting there on the ESPN set getting why BYU.
Yeah. And so even though they can be in the ballpark for all these other kids, it may be maybe never they get this type of player again.
Because players 1, 2, and 3 are always going to have 10, 15, 20 schools ready to throw gobs of cash at
Right.
them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You still got to compete in that circle.
It would be... if Kevin Young pulls this off again, oh my goodness, this guy. And I'm not going to doubt him, but it seems to me it would be hard. And it was probably hard to get him. They got him. And then when you get him, I think that allows you to get a Rob Wright.
Yeah, you can see how one thing builds into the other.
Yeah.
I want to play with that kid. Absolutely.
So if they can get him, they can get the Rob Wrights of the world. And Rob Wright's a very good player. But yeah, why wouldn't right. Rob Wright want to play with him? Yeah, he's going to help you in terms of exposure that you're going to receive. You've already been receiving it. You hit a game-winning 3 in the freaking Madison Square Garden of all places, right?
DJ PK coming up next. Jerrod Calhoun joins us. Utah State basketball coach Ken Pomeroy at 9 o'clock. Stay with us.
Utah's best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth. Here we go. From the guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history. You're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We are joined once again by Utah State basketball coach Jerrod Calhoun. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I enjoy your post-game interviews on the broadcast afterwards because you answer the question directly, but you often take it to a second and a third level and give us even more. And I appreciate that. There's so many questions get asked and people duck it. And I thought it was especially interesting. I think it was in the last game. You started talking about scheduling and went stream of consciousness and acknowledged you'd taken some heat for the schedule, talked about how difficult it was to schedule. You mentioned you had 4 quad 2 games. You threw a lot of info out there that they didn't have to pull out of you. You just volunteered it. And I'm curious how you wanted to schedule and then how you had to schedule and what is the gap in there? Because you guys are rolling, but it also hasn't been the toughest schedule ever.
Yeah, scheduling is a lot like recruiting. It's one of the most foundational pieces probably of your entire program, right outside your staff and your players. So you have to be strategic. Right now our schedule's a little bit better than it was last year, but, your schedule is only as good as your opponents. And the tough part is, being a really, really good, mid-major plus type program, it's hard to get teams that want to play us. They have a lot to lose because this program's been good for so long. So we try to be strategic and, playing Illinois State, team that was picked to win the Missouri Valley, VCU, the team that was picked to win the Atlantic 10, and then Memphis was picked to win the American. So we ended up scheduling 3 preseason champion-type teams for their leagues.
Plus, there's nobody in their right mind who would want to come to Logan to play you guys in a non-conference game. That's a fact, isn't it?
Well, I mean, you've been here and you know how hard it is for opponents and the fan base. So, yeah, I mean, we were really fortunate to get Memphis to come out here in February and start a home-and-home.
College basketball is constantly changing, and now this tournament in Vegas where the players are getting NIL money, and we're reading these stories about how if it doesn't kill the Maui Classic, it will greatly diminish it, and PK's covered that like 4 times, and we'll tell you about the greatness of the Maui Classic and what an awesome trip it is. But it's expensive to get out there, and meanwhile you can get NIL money in Vegas for your players. Is there a way for mid-majors to get into that, or is that going to be something for power leagues? Can you ever get anywhere near that? As it expands?
Yeah, we're trying. I mean, we're looking at every tournament, every promoter and different third parties that are putting these events on. So yeah, certainly we've talked to them. That thing is really, really a neat opportunity. It really kind of gave you March Madness type vibes early in the year and some great matchups. So yeah, I mean, it's something we're trying. Nothing guaranteed, but we'll start putting our schedule together now because as we transition to the Pac-12, currently right now we have to get 16 non-league games, so it's a lot of games.
Oh yeah, for sure. Looking at college basketball and really college sports in general, football coaches have actually talked about the point that I'm about to make. It used to be like Kyle Whittingham talked about how we get kids in our program and we teach them, we train them. And there's a couple of guys in the NFL right now that are playing that really didn't get full-time starter minutes, you would say. Football, you don't use the term minutes as you do in basketball. But they weren't full-time starters until they're seniors. And then they went on in the NFL. And he said that things have changed dramatically with the transfer portal, that you really can't do that anymore. You've got to get up to speed immediately with these kids because there's so many new ones. And he was talking about how maybe you have to simplify things. I'm wondering in basketball, with the transfer portal and kids coming in. Dave Rose used to do really good by the time he got guys to be juniors and seniors. They were big-time contributors. Look at Jimmer Fredette when he was a freshman compared to was a junior and senior. I mean, it's night and day. How do you handle the complexity of getting these new kids up to speed immediately? Because when you bring them in, you're counting on them. Yeah,
there's a lot to that. Obviously, really fond of Coach Whittingham, and I think what he said there it's very accurate, right? Your schematics, your planning, your implementation in the summer. Our basketball season starts in the summer. What makes the portal so hard is you only have just a couple weeks to really kind of navigate through it. Really a month tops, right? So things are happening really, really fast. So nowadays, you're monitoring the portal every week, right? You're looking at different leagues and trying to figure out who fits your style of play. You have an identity. Each coach has an identity of how they want to play. But our formula has been always development. So we took 5 freshmen. We have 2 freshmen that are playing, 3 that are redshirting. I think you have to have a balance of older players that are ready to go right now, as you kind of said, and then some younger guys. So typically we take older guards. If you look at our guards in our programs the last couple of years, they've been older. Right. Dexter Cano last year, Ian Martinez this year, MJ Collins, Colby King, guys that transferred in. Because I think that those players have the ball in their hands quite a bit. And then we want to continue to develop our young bigs and get those guys better. But each year is different. There's no doubt about it. We use a lot of analytics, and then we trust our eyes.
Can you tell us a little bit about MJ Collins Jr.? I looked him up, 2 years at Virginia Tech and 1 at Vanderbilt. How do you get him to this side of the country? He's your leading scorer at 20 points a game. What did you see in the analytics, and what did you see with your eyes, and what did you learn about him off the court that made you think, okay, this guy could do it for us?
Yeah, I mean, just a tremendous story. A guy that played half the game, right? He goes to Vanderbilt. He's playing about 19, 20 minutes a game, averages 7. I mean, he's come here and just been incredible. Great work ethic, unbelievable motor, can really defend, long arms, and then just his shot making and his efficiency has been tremendous. So I feel like, with the portal guys we brought in, they kind of fit who we are, and MJ has just really, really taken off after 10 games. I think he's definitely leading our team, but I believe he's leading the conference in scoring as well.
Is Falstaff still the glue, though, that holds everything together?
He's pretty good. He's a guy that rebounds, he passes, he scores. He defends. There's certain guys that can affect the game in different ways. He can affect it in a lot of ways with his versatility, and he's really his want to, right? He just wants to win. His motor and his desire to win games is really, really something else.
Yeah, my only criticism of him is that funny haircut.
There's kids in our neighborhood that have named it the false left. So there's a lot of young kids here in Logan that go into their barber or go into the salon and get a false left haircut. So it's growing.
How much does it benefit you to have Falslev in his third year and also Templin in his third year to have a core of those guys? Could you put a whole team together every year, or do you have to have kind of tentpole guys who and you know what their role is and you know what they're going to do?
Yeah, I mean, certainly you want to get old and stay old. You'd like to get old with your current players because they know your system, they know who you are, they know how you guys operate, right? So I think it's really, really good, and I think it's a test to our university, our staff, our connection that, 5 of our kids came back, right? We have 5 freshmen, 5 returning guys, 5 transfers. So it's really helped us the way we do things. And, Tucker Anderson and Jordy Barnes and these guys, they've all experienced winning. And I think, they show guys as they're coming into our program how we need to operate on a day-to-day basis.
You're done with non-conference, right? And you got league play coming up, and, man, you don't get a snoozer right off the bat. You got Colorado State there, and I believe the one loss that you have, they've beat that team, South Florida. That gets your attention in terms of league play, and league play is so much more manifest. But what do you think about the Rams right off the bat?
Yeah, I mean, just really, really, deep. The best three-point shooting team in the country, percentage-wise. They did a great job retaining players, and then also the portal. The ball moves. They do a tremendous job of sharing the ball. They've got size, so they can throw the ball inside with Jorgensen, one of the most improved bigs in the league. Pasquarelli, a transfer from Marist, is probably shooting the ball as good as anybody in the country. They do a really, really good job of valuing the ball. So, as you said, you're thrown right into the fire from game one. It's going to be an exciting game, a noon game. So we have to be ready. I feel like we've had some good days of prep, but it's league play. And, you've got after Saturday, you've got 10 weeks of league action. And it's really exciting, and it's kind of bittersweet with the last year of the Mountain West.
I'm definitely hearing you on the Mountain West because it has been such a good basketball league for so long. One thing when we started doing the show is PK always used to scream about New Mexico. Yeah, they got a great record, but they play so many home games. It's stacked. You can't tell anything. New Mexico this year did go on the road a little more than usual, which means 2 games. And they won at VCU. Does that mean something? Should the Lobos be considered in this top tier of the Mountain
West?
West?
Think you got a bunch of teams, right? I mean, I think Boise State over the last 2 to 3 weeks is just playing as good as anybody in the country. San Diego State, obviously, we know Coach Dutcher. We know they've got the preseason player of the year. Colorado State, New Mexico, Grand Canyon. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I think our league took some hits early. I think at one point we were 0-12 versus quad ones, but recently we've had some massive wins over the last 2 to 3 weeks. And I think the Mountain West has 7 teams inside the top 100 in Ken Palm. So it's a very, very good league again.
Yeah, you mentioned Grand Canyon, Coach. I got my teaching certificate from Grand Canyon many years ago. Now, I never went into teaching. I went into media, but I got a backup in case the media thing didn't work out. So I went to Grand Canyon. I grew up in Phoenix, and I've been able to watch them from a distance. And their ascension into a program where, at least certainly at home, it is very difficult to play because the kids come out and all that. Just speak to the addition. Now, it'll only be for you guys temporary, obviously, but I think that at least this year, because you'll play them, they have an opportunity to add a lot.
Yeah, I thought, it was interesting, the timing, the way they were kind of, brought into the league. But I think from a league standpoint, obviously, as you said, the evolution of their program, their fan base, the student body, it just adds another great game. Obviously, Bryce Drew's a great coach. It's one of the teams I haven't seen a ton of this year, a lot of times you've got to catch certain games, but I'm sure they're going to be very, very competitive in this league.
How much can you tell from non-conference games watching all these teams, and how much is there still a lot of mystery to be discovered as you watch teams you know well play teams you know well?
I think this, you look at Colorado State last year, I think when they came into the Spectrum, they were 15-8, right? People probably thought they were not going to play in the NCAA tournament unless they won the conference tournament. Well, you go back in time, and they did. They won, I believe, 10 or 11 games in a row last year. So sports are really, really tricky, right? Some teams get hot at certain times. You want to be playing your best, in those meaningful moments. But all of these games matter, right, because you're trying to build your resume. So there's really no nights off. In the teams that can be consistent, I think the teams that can win in different ways, right? They can win some nights with their defense, some nights with their offense. Those are traditionally the best teams. But I think what the Rams of Colorado State did last year and taught many of us is it's a long season, right? You've got to stay the course, and teams can really, really get hot at the right time.
You mentioned going into the conference next season. Does that change anything? If so, in terms of recruiting or whatever it might be, do you have any idea yet?
No, not much. I definitely think we got to get a little bit bigger. You start studying Gonzaga and the way they've got it. They've got positional size, really, almost at every position. But we'll have to get bigger. I think we did that a little bit this year with bringing in David Awizi, a 6'9", 245-pound freshman that we redshirted. Zach Keller from the University of Utah. So, that's something we wanted to address anyways. But I think this league will be a little bit longer, a little more athletic type of players.
Yeah, when BYU was in the West Coast with Gonzaga, Dave Rose, he'd said on our show that when you go to Gonzaga, or when you play Gonzaga, not just necessarily go them, but when you play Gonzaga, they not only have the best big man in the league, they have the second best big man in the league, and often they have the third best big man in the league.
That's a good line. Yep. Yeah, no, they're deep, very, very deep front line every year, it seems like.
I'm curious what you think of the local talent across the state of Utah and how much that can help you. You have an interesting guy on your team in Drake Allen, who played at Westlake, went to Southern Utah for a year, UVU for a year, and is now in his second year at Utah State. That is really having the in-state basketball experience there for Drake. I'm wondering how many players are there who you think will have the size and the talent to compete in the new league you're going into?
Yeah, we laugh with Drake quite a bit. He's been almost to every university in our state. Just a wonderful kid. But, yeah, I think of Utah as just one of the sleeping giants of all the states. I think we have so many great high school coaches, so many good youth coaches. Going through that right now with my daughters in soccer. I think our soccer here is tremendous. But, yeah, I think this state will always have players that will be good enough to put on the Aggie uniform or go play at these different universities. You're seeing it, everywhere. I think the future is really bright for high school basketball in our state.
Well, Coach, we hope the future is bright for you. We'll be following you all season long and look forward to talking to you again.
Anytime. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
There's Jerrod Calhoun. He's head basketball coach at Utah State. And I think they got 3 local kids on the roster now. And a wild race setting up in the Mountain West, as it usually is. Basically, he's in favor of the top half of the league. He's 7 teams in the top 100, he points out. It's basically a little more than half the league.
Oh, yeah. And the thing about it, too, is I've been to every one of these places, for that matter. They're hard places. And I think the road in college basketball, of all the sports,
it really tells the truth.
It's the most difficult. And that's why the committee rewards road wins more than, I think, other sports that have a selection committee and what they do as far as that goes. And so I can remember there was one year, BYU, I think they were like 7-0 at home and 0-7 on the road. And I think we were in Colorado. I think we were in Fort Collins. and I was hanging out in the lobby or eating breakfast with some of the coaches, whatever. And I said, if you guys win this game, I'll wear BYU gear on the next road trip.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. Or no, they got to pick one, and they picked TCU because it was the longest plane flight.
They wanted that thing, huh?
So I had to wear the hat, and they got me a shirt, and I had to wear that, and I had to show up at the airport. And I can remember they handed it to the sports information director and told him to give it to me. And he came up to me, and, I don't know why I'm supposed to do this, but I'm supposed to give you this. And the joke is, and then I had to wear the hat and the gear because they won that game. But the point being, they had, and I don't remember what year it was, but they had a pretty good team. But they were really struggling on the road because it's hard to get road wins in this sport and in this conference because they usually have pretty good fan bases in this conference. And show up.
At a point in the season where most teams, it looks like everyone in the league has played between 9 and 12 games, these coaches don't want any part of the road because they played 0 to 3 road games.
Yeah.
Air Force and San Jose are the only two schools that played 3 road games, and they're both 0-3. And San Diego State, road record, 0-0. 9 games in. They've had 6 at home and then 3 neutral court. They won't want any part of it. It's hard to do, and coaches avoid it. The Aggies are 1-1 in true road games.
Right. And it started, I think, last night, Air Force and San Diego State. I was watching that a little bit of that.
San Diego State beat Air Force in the conference opener. All right, DJ and PK coming up. Ken Pomeroy, KenPom.com at 9 o'clock. Stay with us.
Over 2 decades of sports radio dominance in Utah.
My favorite.
This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The John Watson Northern Utah High School Players of the Week, honoring the top boys and girls prep basketball players this week. Malika Satuala from Bountiful and Bracken Saunders from Morgan High. Satuala had 18 points and 15 rebounds and a win at Maple Mountain, followed by 14 points in a rout at Woods Cross. Saunders had 25 points and 9 boards in an 82-56 win over Bonneville, and then 14 more points in a win at Uinta and 17 points in a blowout win at Union. See why new and used car buyers give John Watson Chevrolet more 5-star reviews than any other Chevy dealer in Utah. John Watson Chevrolet, your 5-star Chevy dealer. And as I read those names, PK rocks to his right and leans on his elbow as if he has something to say about the name Satuala.
Well, it's obviously his sister.
Right, yeah. Same school, a couple of years younger. And apparently there's some athleticism in that family because she's apparently crushing it.
Right.
Yeah. As obviously he did and stepped right into BYU and looked good right from the get-go.
Oh, yeah. He looks like he's going to be an NFL kid.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Aaron Francisco, who was an NFL player.
Yeah. For years.
Yeah.
Had a good long run with the Cardinals, I think.
Yes.
I remember him.
So that's a player that's what Eric Kjar was talking about yesterday, to go into the amount of quality players in this state, and that he is going to go after a whole bunch of them. But obviously, if you're going to be offered by BYU or Utah, and probably Utah State, you're probably going to go there. But you can get them on the rebound if things don't work out for whatever reason, or you are under-recruited. The kids are under-recruited all the time in this sport, especially now when they're trying to get teams are just going through the transfer portal. Why take a freshman if you can get a redshirt sophomore or a junior?
Who's already bigger and stronger and faster and has grown and filled out?
Yes.
And learned more about the sport.
And can come in right away and help you play. And so that's why I'm excited to see what Weber can do. Obviously, I consider Kjar a friend, and we want him and my wife shoulder to shoulder for years with that guy down there at Corner Canyon. And she says, man, I'm really going to have to pull for Weber next year. I said, yeah, I know. Now, welcome to my world.
Yeah, I know, right?
I said, in my world, if you've been in this business a long time, which we have, you end up rooting for individuals. You don't necessarily root for teams. You root for individuals because you get to know them. And if you like them, in most cases you do, you want to see them succeed. And the U of U just put out a thing that says that they're going to introduce Morgan formally Tuesday, January 6th at 2 p.m., at the Layton Field Club at Rice-Eccles Stadium to introduce Morgan Scalley as the new coach. It would literally be impossible for me to root against Morgan Scalley.
Somebody I watched in high school.
Yeah, we saw him. He came in. He was with us for a year.
He did. He worked with us for a year.
Over at the other 1280 at Simmons. And he was on our show. He was there every day.
The year he did it was when we were in our first 5 years doing the show together.
Yeah. And he sees us on the golf course, and he hugs my wife. How do I root against that? I can't. And I hope they knock it out of the park. And Sitake, I can't count the number of times I've hugged him. And I'm not a hugger.
But he is, so deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, he's built like a bear. When he comes at you,
yep,
you know it's coming.
It is. He's gonna hug you.
And now that I'm not in newspapers, hug away.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Back in the day, it bugged you. But now,
well,
you're older, you're softer.
Didn't bug me, but it was frowned upon.
It was frowned upon.
Yeah.
And it's still a little frowned upon.
Oh, I got no problem now. You want to hug?
It's not the same way it was. Everything has changed.
It has.
Including our roles.
Most definitely.
Yeah. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. When we come back, Ken Pomeroy, KenPom.com. What does he think of the local college basketball teams? Where does he think BYU stacks up with the elite teams in the country? We'll ask him next. Stay with us.
Teams you're passionate about than these guys.
Try some more.
This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK brought to you in part by Hercules First Federal Credit Union. Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. DJ, PK, and we're joined once again by Ken Pomeroy, college basketball guru of KenPom.com. Ken, good morning.
Good morning. What's that intro music?
It's Christmas music from Kurt Bester, who was chosen as the artist of the day.
Okay, great. Well, I approve then.
And that ought to fire you up.
Yeah, well, that was the idea. Like, I mean,
it was a little sleepy.
A little bit, guys.
Yeah. It's like the Masters. There's always one day or 1 week where you have the guys on from the Masters or guys on the golf show go there. And we'll have Bob Casper and Brian Taylor on, and they come in with the little piano from the Masters, and it's soothing, and I almost fall asleep in here. It's like, need something, a little pep. Let's go.
I mean, I just need it personally, you guys. I don't know about your audience, but anyway, I'm ready to go.
Let's start with the big headline. BYU looks really good. They've played a half dozen games against power conference teams, and they're going to play a Big 12 schedule with a bunch of ranked teams there. They play 3 of them twice. They're going to get Texas Tech twice, Arizona twice, and Utah twice. Tech and Arizona are both ranked. Where are you thinking the Cougars are going to be seated if you try to look ahead a couple of months here?
Oh, I mean, the sky is almost the limit for that. I don't think a 1 seed is necessarily unrealistic, but it's unlikely. There's some really good teams at the top of college basketball this year, but after that, I mean, yeah, you could see them getting a 2 seed without any question. 2 or a 3, probably a 2. I'd almost bet on a 2 at this point. They've had the only scary thing is that sometimes they just don't show up for the first half, and saw that against UConn and against Clemson and against Delaware. Actually, was another example where they just did not show up for the first half. There's there's a type of team, I'm just going to throw this out there. I was thinking about this the other day. There have been teams in the past where, they have like a star that they can go to at the end of the game, and they're really confident that if it's a close game, they're going to, get points from this person, either scoring or at the free throw line. And obviously BYU kind of fits that mold with Devonsa. The last team I remember like this is like Blake Griffin, Oklahoma, where they didn't have a lot of depth. It was mostly a one-man team, and they rose to number one in the polls, and they were never really like that high in any sort of power ranking because they did take some possessions off. I think subconsciously knowing that the game was almost in the bag at the end of the game, and BYU's not quite on that level yet. But I'm curious to see how they navigate the Big 12 schedule if this happens. If they, even against weaker teams, they don't necessarily put them away because they know that 2 minutes left, they can give the ball to AJ and he can make things happen. It's going to be fun times in Provo, I think, over the next 2 to 3 months.
Conference season is pretty much over, or non-conference, I should say, as far as that goes. I mean, I realize that they still have a couple more games and all, but the point I'm making, have you been able to, with some form of good legitimacy, create a ranking in terms of conferences and who's better and who's that and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about legitimacy, PK. And,
you should be. I've been trying to push that on you for as long as I've known you.
Been working on that, and we have legitimate conference rankings. And I guess the story this year is that, last year the story was the SEC was sort of this dominant league that, historically dominant, almost all their teams getting into the tournament, 14 out of 16 getting into the tournament, and then, having reasonable success in the NCAA tournament as well. It was really one of the best leagues of modern history. The SEC, I still have rated as the top league, but it's significantly weaker than it has been. And mostly the reason they're the top league is that the bottom is good, which is probably not a reason that, most people want to rate leagues. Like when it comes to getting tournament bids, it's kind of TBD as to which league's going to get the most. You got the SEC, the Big 10, and the Big 12. I mean, they're all pretty similar in terms of overall strength. The SEC's bottom is stronger. The top is not nearly as strong as it was last year. Like there's, Vanderbilt is the highest rated team in the league right now. I believe the highest ranked team in the AP poll as well, for those who believe in that sort of stuff. And they're a legitimate team, but like they're not, on the level of Florida or Auburn last year, or even Alabama. It's just a little bit down at the top of the league. And then, you got the Big 10 and the Big 12 have better teams at the top. The bottom is also lower for both of those leagues, but all three of those leagues are, basically within the margin of error of each other. And if people care about which league is the best league, it's going to come down to, I'm sure, for popular opinion, which teams or which leagues get the most teams in the tournament, and then how those teams fare in the tournament. And for some people, the best league is simply determined by who wins the title game. And for those people, maybe it'll be one of those three leagues, or maybe it'll be, maybe it'll be Duke. It's usually the ACC people that like to go that route. And if Duke or Carolina or somebody else, Louisville, wins the title, they'll claim that the ACC was the best league. And hey, I'm not going to put up much of a fight about that.
We have to watch so much football, and we probably have at least 7, but really 8, 9. Yeah, with Weber State football, maybe we're about to have 10 teams we got to track. So watching a lot of out-of-state college basketball, I'm just not going to have time to do a lot of that. But I did read and saw a couple scores, and I did read Michigan is awesome. Even among the awesome teams, they're awesome. And when I looked at KenPom.com to confirm that, I was like, whoa, net rating, they're like 4.5 points in front of everybody else. Do you view Michigan as a powerhouse and everyone in college basketball is chasing them? Because right now, looking at your rankings, I think you're about to say yes.
I think the best way to put it is that Michigan's peak has been better than anybody else's. I mean, Michigan's peak has been amazing. The bizarre thing about Michigan is that, the second game of the year, they play a Wake Forest team that probably not going to be in the tournament, and really should have lost that game. There was a late comeback. They went to overtime. They won the game, but that was a pretty ugly performance. They struggled badly with TCU in the very next game, another team that probably won't make the tournament. And since then, they have just been wrecking teams. I mean, they went to the Players Era Festival. That's where it really opened people's eyes, and they just annihilated San Diego State, annihilated Auburn, annihilated Gonzaga. And since then, the reputation has been born that, this team is really, really good. I mean, they'll get their test in Big Ten play. And they actually, are coming off a game against Maryland where the score was lopsided, but they were only ahead by 3 with 10 minutes left. And Maryland's another team not going to make the tournament or really come close. So that's the way I put it. At Michigan's peak, I mean, he beat Gonzaga by 40 in any year. It's a big deal. I believe it was the worst loss in Mark Stoops' career. So in any year, that's a big deal. But if you also look at my ratings, there's Gonzaga's, I believe, still number 2 today. So that was a pretty crazy one. So yeah, Michigan at its best, I think, is better than anybody else. They're not, this is not, 1991 UNLV or something like that. I mean, it's there's other, very good teams out there that have also had very impressive wins, like Iowa State, winning by 20 plus at Purdue, and Arizona's been rolling. Duke very young, but seem to have all the pieces to make another push for a Final Four or a national title. So there are other teams out there, but yeah, I would say Michigan right now, rightfully the favorite to win a title.
Based on your rankings, do you take more crap in the non-conference or during the conference?
Man, I do take a lot of crap in the non-conference.
That's what I thought. Sure. Yeah, and I always enjoy it each time you do, by the way.
I enjoy it too, actually. A nice, fun ritual for me is just, there's plenty of crap out there. So on social media, and I just when the crap comes in, I just bookmark the crap, and we'll check back in at the end of the season. There was a guy who made a social media account just to not very politely tell me, that I was crazy about his team. And his team was Georgetown, which Georgetown might make this year, but they got a lot of work to do. They just got taken to overtime by St. Peter's, but he was irate that they were getting a few votes in the AP poll, and I had them ranked 83rd or something. And so irate that he created a social media account solely to let me know this. And so I'm being patient, but at the end of the year, I'm petty enough where I might post a screenshot.
And go back at it. Yeah,
that was going to be my follow-up. Do you bookmark these just so you can look back with satisfaction and think, yeah, he's wrong, I'm right. He's wrong, I'm right. Or do you literally tweet, how do you like me now?
It's mostly for the purposes of a year-end, post on Substack to, just recap all of the bad opinions about my ratings. That's mostly the purpose, which I was too lazy to do last year because the ratings actually performed really well last year, and there weren't I think people just gave up and gave me some credit. But the year before, I think there were quite a few, and I just had them all bookmarked, and it's great content at the end of the year.
Sure, why not? That's part of the fun. Kentucky with Mark Pope, man, he's been under the microscope. What do you think?
I think it's a fascinating situation. I mean, these are I love these kind of storylines in college basketball where obviously the expectations greatly exceeded reality there, and Kentucky fans are impatient. I mean, last year they were you get 1 year of quasi patience, and
right.
I think Kentucky pretty much overachieved last year, but obviously the expectations were so low that they weren't really a serious Final Four national title threat.
Right.
And that's kind of it in modern times. Like, you get 1 year, and then if you're in Kentucky and you are not threatening to go to a Final Four, there will be immediate heat on you. And there's I don't know about rightfully, but there's immediate heat on Mark Pope in Kentucky right now because they obviously have struggled. And it's just not that they've lost to good teams. They've generally not been competitive, getting run off the floor by Gonzaga and Michigan State, and losing to Louisville. I mean, that game was more competitive and it was a road game. You kind of understand that. Louisville's pretty good this year, but you just don't, there's no star power on that team. You just don't see the path to, them meeting kind of the expectation of being a top 10 team this year. I think I would be surprised if they didn't make the tournament. Like, I think they're good enough to make the tournament and even be like a, 6, 7, 8 seed, somewhere in there. But it's a serious struggle for them. And obviously got the big game this weekend against St. John's, which, every game for them just seems like so critical. Like the Indiana game, they could just come off winning that, and everything seems like, it's okay. Like, you just look at the final score, and they, pulled away late, as they probably should. But, they were trailing like 8 or 9 at halftime. I mean, it was scary stuff. They lose that game. I mean, it's rough, and obviously the crowd is not supportive. I mean, it's an interesting situation there. I don't know what his future looks like if they end up getting, say an 8 seed or something like that. Mm-hmm. I assume he'd do that, but there would be questions.
Yeah, they should have hired Kevin Young.
I mean, yeah, you look. That's the whole thing, though. Like, if they do let him go, I mean, you remember the coaching search. It didn't go very smoothly. That was part of the reason that they ended up with Mark Pope, is that he wasn't their first choice. And obviously, without the Kentucky ties, he wouldn't have been one of their top 5 choices. But
right.
That's the thing. If you let him go, it's like you have to go through this whole coaching search again. And
it reminds me of what Penn State had done in football.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
you fired James Franklin. Now what?
Yeah, Not only that, but you have all. Yeah, in that case, you have the entire season to do the coaching search, and it's still a struggle. So that's the thing in basketball. Like, you can't, you don't have. If you're going to make the decision, you better have a very good idea of who you're going to pursue and whether those people are interested in taking your job. And we saw that actually a lot last year in the tournament, where guys were essentially coaching their teams that had already made deals to coach other teams, this season, just weren't public about it. But that's just the way it's got to be, because the recruiting cycle is just instantaneous now in the sport.
I'm curious, when you're taking all this heat in November and December, the transfer portal is so wild now. Teams are completely remaking themselves. We just had Jerrod Calhoun on, 5 returning guys, 5 freshmen, 5 transfers. One of the transfers, Colby King, is playing at his 4th school in 4 years. Shouldn't there be some expectation both from you and from the audience? Like, hey, it's going to take a while to figure this out. Just don't take anything seriously 2, 4, 6 games into the season. It's too early.
I mean, that is that's what I would preach to people. I think in general, if your team gets off to a hot start in the first 4 games, and you're not rated well in my ratings or whatever, it's just like, that's just the way it works. Like, you're going to, that fan base is going to be extremely impatient and demand that they be respected by all parties. But that is the fun of college basketball, is that you can, first of all, in this era, obviously you can surprise people, but also you can fake it for like 6 or 8 games. Like, you can look like a pretty good team for 6 or 8 games and actually not be that good of a team, or vice versa. I mean, you go back and look at previous seasons, and teams get off the slow starts, and then they figure it out. I mean, Houston was a team like that last year. I mean, people, I don't know how familiar they are with Houston necessarily. I'm sure they're familiar with the fact that they were in the national title game, and They didn't lose a game on the road in the Big 12 last year, which is outrageous. But, early in the season, they lose a game to San Diego State, and they tumble down the AP poll, and people kind of wonder, are they going to crumble in Big 12 play? We finally have this moment where Houston, obviously in a Big 12 expansion team is not ready for the moment, although the previous year they were very good. But and then they end up being great. And so, the premise of your question suggests, I guess, that people look at this rationally early in the season, and that's not really what fans do. And I don't expect them to. And I'm all good with it, guys.
With the situation now of players coming in as freshmen, and they have a lot of hype when they come in. Last year we did it, and we've already established like the top 3 guys, and it seems like for the NBA draft, and the top 3 this year, and we'll see how it plays out. Obviously, DeBonsa, Peterson for Kansas has had the injury, hadn't been on the floor that much, and then you got Carlos' son Cam Boozer, and so already. And I've seen all these guys play because they were on ESPN before they even get to this level. And obviously I've seen DeBonsa play in person several times already. Boozer now, I'm intrigued by him because the guy's a double-double machine here in college so far through the non-conference. And now you're starting to see knocks on him. Oh, well, he can't do this. He's undersized, blah, 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 whatever it might be. What do you think of him?
Yeah, I love him. I love the type of player who's not overly athletic. Kind of a below the rim big, but
right. That's the number one knock against him.
Yeah, and rightfully so. Those kind of things do matter when you end up playing in the best basketball league in the world. But he's just so phenomenally skilled, and he's not like slow or anything. Like I think his feet are like reasonably quick. His reaction time is really good. So he makes up for some of those. He makes up for the below the rim stuff in some ways. Like that, obviously, that will be the question. When teams when these guys go through the draft process, for number one, you see certainly the athleticism from DeBonsa and what he can do, right. And to a lesser extent, Darren Peterson. Peterson just looks so smooth out there, even though, as you mentioned, he has had the injury, but when he's been on the floor, even at 75%, he still looks really good. So all those things come into play, but yeah, certainly with Cam, it's a question of the athleticism, but the production is outrageous, and the production against good teams has been pretty good. Like, yeah, he will go 5-7 minutes without necessarily making an impact on the game, but like I don't care who you're talking about at this level, like that happens. We could find those stretches for AJ DeBonsa as well. The people are maybe being a little overly critical on Cam just simply because of the lack of athleticism necessarily, but overall, like at the end of the day, you look at his production even against great teams, and it's been worthy of the hype of potentially being the number one pick.
Well, the skill matters a lot, and he's got it. And honestly, just it reminds me so much of watching his dad, because his dad was highly skilled, and his dad was undersized and didn't have great lift, and it really didn't limit what the Jazz could do until they ran into a team like the Lakers, who they lost to 3 times in 4 years, and the Lakers had 3 7-footers across the front line. And so the skill can overcome a little bit of that lack of explosiveness and a little bit of that lack of size. But when you put 3 guys out on the court, there are going to be limitations. And that goes back to your point about, well, it's the best league in the world, and when you run into the best teams in the best leagues, there can be a bit of a ceiling there.
Yeah, and what's interesting? Like Carlos, my recollection is he was one of the first guys who, his analytics started becoming a thing relative to the draft. Like he was one of the first guys who, like the nerds in the on the dark web at that time, were like, why is this guy not, profiled higher in the draft? Why is he not like a lottery pick, really? Mm-hmm. Because the same knock, like he wasn't athletic, but he was just supremely productive back in an ACC that was easily the best league in the country, playing top 10 teams all the time. It's like, obviously, this guy he doesn't meet the athletic profile of an NBA player, but production-wise, against really good competition, he's outstanding, obviously very skilled, and ultimately that was a win for the nerds on the dark web.
All right, well, we'll leave it right there, Ken. We appreciate it, as always. Thanks for a little December college basketball talk.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. We'll talk to you again. Ken Pomeroy. You can follow him, kenpom.com, for everything you want to know about college basketball and your team and your conference and where they fit in the bigger world. And he'll keep getting that dialed in as they play more games. Right now, it looks like there's a group of, say, probably 11 teams at the top of his rankings, all with 0 or 1 loss. Many of them with the loss coming to one of the other teams in that group. So when he says the top 2 to 3 seed for BYU, you can see why he says that.
I think 3 would be way low.
3 is low, 2 is right, 1 is high? Is that what you're thinking?
I don't think I don't necessarily think 1 is high, but it could be. But I think 3 is too low. If I'm BYU and get a 3 seed, that's a disappointment. I don't think there's any difference between a 2 and a 1. But not that you can't get where you want, because the Utes were, I think they got to the Final Four of the year. They were the 3 seed. But that just seems to me too low. But who knows? I mean, they have to go out and starting. They have a couple more games to go, but then they got the conference season, and that's going to be obviously difficult. And Keita gets foul trouble or somebody has the flu, because I don't think they're all that deep. It's clear that Kevin Young is trying to develop depth, but and they've got this big man coming in that they were talking about redshirting, but maybe they might have to use him this season because you're only going to have DeBonsa here until hopefully for you guys the first week of April, and hopefully for our show the first week of April.
There you go. Now you're talking. Now back to us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll root for them all the way.
A lot of times there is a difference between a 1 and 2. If it turns out they're really, and maybe there isn't, maybe it's just early in the year. If there is a big break from like the number 11 team to the number 12 team, if you get to 1, you're setting yourself up for an easier Sweet 16 game. That'd be the advantage.
On paper,
ultimately, on paper, right. Ultimately, you're going to be playing each other here, But if you're a 2-3, you could have one extra tough game that a 1 seed doesn't have.
The Utes Van Horn senior year, they got a 2 seed, but it was the 4th 2 seed, which then means you play the first 1 seed, so they went up against Kentucky.
Yikes, when Kentucky was at its peak.
Yeah.
Kentucky had a 3-year stretch there. This is before you were born, Chicho. Kentucky had a 3-year stretch where they went 17-1 in the NCAA tournament. And the one loss was in overtime in the title game to Arizona, who won it all. It was an awesome stretch. 8, 9 NBA guys on a team. It was unreal.
And they could have had 2 Final Fours in a row if they weren't underseeded, I believe, as the 4th 2 seed. If they would have been the 2nd or 3rd 2 seed.
Now they're in a different region from Kentucky, and maybe they get through.
Right.
The difference in 3 years in a row is when you run into Kentucky. They ran into them every year. Ran into them Sweet 16, Elite 8, and National Title game.
I was there every year.
And maybe Van Horn's in the National Title game if they get a different draw.
Right.
Maybe Kentucky was the only team that could handle them. But,
right.
So we'll see how this plays out with BYU. The interesting thing with BYU is these top 11 teams, if you look at kenpom.com right now, we're going to see them play these teams because Iowa State, Big 12 team, is number 3. Right. Arizona, Big 12 team, is number 4. And BYU is at 8, and Houston is at 9. So 4 of the top 9 teams are Big 12, and they're going to play Iowa State and Houston once, and they're going to play Arizona twice.
Yeah.
So plenty of big games
January
and tests.
And February.
And they've already played one of the teams because their one loss is to UConn, who's in that group.
Yeah.
I don't think they've played anybody else in that group. Am I missing somebody? I don't think so.
Top 10 you're talking about?
Yeah, in this top 10 or 11 group.
I don't have it in front of me, but I don't think so.
No, they haven't played anybody else. All right, DJ and PK, everything you missed in this show coming up next. Stay with us.
For all of you less motivated listeners, it's time for your 9 o'clock. Where the heck have you been headlines?
Where you at?
With DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Slacker Radio headlines brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan today, your local, trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 801-210-6800 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com.
Christmas is a rocking time. Put your body next to mine. Underneath the mistletoe we go.
Sounds a little more like we got Charlie Brown and Lucy and Linus here. Where's Snoopy?
He's hanging on.
Hang. Time to get you up to date on everything you missed in this show. If you want college basketball, wherever you get your podcast, Jerrod Calhoun, Utah State basketball coach. I enjoy him as an interview. He'll give you stuff. He'll say stuff. And Ken Pomeroy, kenpom.com, on how the leagues line up, how the Cougars line up, what he's expecting in college basketball this year, and what he's seen through the first 10 games or so. Get those wherever you get your podcasts. The Utah Jazz, I don't know what to make of that 10th win they picked up over Dallas. You're playing a depleted team. There were no bigs for either team. It wasn't really an NBA game. There's a lack of size there that reminded me a little more of a college game. The guys really attacked the rim. But I assume we're really going to get the Lakers tonight. Now, Markkanen's questionable, so we may not really get the Jazz tonight.
Yeah, he's always questionable, though.
There it is.
He's a questionable guy.
Questionable.
And I think that's generally for Finnish people.
Just judged all of Finland. Just boom.
Well, let's go the whole Scandinavian area.
No, that's it. Norway and Sweden, you're up.
My neighbors are from Norway. Yeah. Very questionable.
Okay. Nice. That's where this is going all along. Cheap shot at your neighbors. Questionable with a groin injury. I hear questionable, and I usually think out, but we'll see how that goes. You accuse me of jumping the gun, and perhaps I did.
That the questionable, the stats favor them playing.
Okay. Just not for the Jazz last year when they were tanking, and maybe that's what got in my brain. League-wide, maybe they play, but...
Yeah, he had some stats.
In the Jazz last year, not
surprisingly.
So much. All right.
So we'll see, man. Lakers coming in town. Could be LeBron's swan song in Salt Lake City.
The last time through town. Another era, another marker. We're all getting older.
What a phenomenal run whenever he decides to hang it. I would like to see him hang it up after this year.
Don't hang on. You're still at a good enough level, but the drop can get pretty quick at this age. So careful with that.
I think it might be a little Whittingham Scally thing in terms of Doncic, LeBron.
Let him shine.
They want to build around
clearly
Doncic.
He's much younger.
Right.
And elite.
Yes. And then the money and all. And, Reeves has blossomed into a player, which is really fun to see for an undrafted kid.
They're still not a complete team. They're good. Yeah. But when they run into very good or great, they're going to have a problem. But LeBron's $52 million coming off the books. I mean, they could go into next year with probably not $60 million, but $55, $56 million in cap room and a chance to do something because Rui Hachimura comes off the books. Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, they can really rebuild this roster. If they choose, maybe they'll spend some of the money re-signing these guys.
But at the same time, could they get a big time guy? I don't think so.
Who's big time out there that they...
I don't know who's available on the free agents or trades.
Right.
But you're going in minimally to play second fiddle.
Yep. And so who's big time, who would be interested in that?
Right. Yeah. Because if you're a big time player, you're used to being the guy, and you've probably been the guy your whole life, and now you're going to come in and the other guy's the guy, and he's got the ball. And he decides whether you get the ball or not. And he's used to having the ball, and he's used to firing it up at will.
He's going to have the ball at the end of the game. You're going to have 12 minutes to shine when he sits.
Yeah.
But at the rest of the time, you're going to be dependent on him.
Right. Doesn't mean there's not somebody out there who can be a great complementary player to him, but that's just it. You're going to have to be a complementary player to him.
Well, we'll see what the Lakers do.
Mm-hmm.
But first things first, we see the Lakers are 18-7 playing the Jazz tonight. They do have a good team.
Yeah.
Would you describe them as very good or great?
Well, I wouldn't describe anybody who hasn't already proven that they're great yet. This season is too soon into it to anoint a team that I don't already think has proven to be great.
So Oklahoma City and Denver, great?
Denver's got some new guys this year. In the last couple of years, they've made some moves.
Which they needed to. They were getting too thin.
Right. No question about it. Right now, to me, I'm most comfortable with OKC, and then we'll see about Denver. So you look at a team like Detroit. they are putting up a really good record. But they haven't done anything, so I can't anoint them great.
I get it. And if you don't want to anoint San Antonio, which is I thought what you were getting at when you said that,
right.
That was the
Same
first
thing.
team that came to my mind. My Western bias showing
Well,
up.
they have to. It's too soon.
Mm-hmm.
If we get to March and they're 58 wins and so forth, well, that may be a new thing. And then, of course, once you get to that point, then you have to start over again because you have no particular playoff run.
And you're down on the Rockets without Van Vliet, although they did add in Durant shooting. And he's leading them in scoring.
They're good, but I just wonder if
That's
their
to
depth
the point of
will
whether
bite them in the end.
They are good, and I just thought it came down to the question of whether you want to say they're very good or they're great.
And they're new.
They are new, mostly.
With him, he's new.
Right. And they have the disadvantage of being in the West. If you're in the East, I could see them getting through that. For the same reason I can see Detroit getting through the East. And I don't think it's that good.
Right, and that's why we talked about that the league needs to consider seeding them.
1 through 16 instead of East and West, which does limit travel.
And have a 2-hour show. You know, like instead of an hour for the lottery with the seeds.
Well, they just have the standings. They wouldn't have.
No, seed. Don't you know? They can actually.
Oh, you want to get an NBA committee?
They could literally seed them.
You want to get an NBA committee together?
They could.
They could. They won't, but they could.
Because it's not even close to balanced.
It's not. No. There's an argument to be made that the top 5 teams in the league are all in the same conference. And I think it's pretty clear that the top 2 are. But if you want to go 3, 4, 5, I can see it. 5 of the top 7 or 6 of the top 8 in the West.
I don't want to get caught up in the moment, though. Because right now, and it's been this way for a bit, but who's to say that, well, then why would you do that in 2 or 3 years or 4 years or whatever it is, that it'll be more balanced so there's no need for it?
Right, but hasn't it seemed for 25 years, we've probably said this at least 15, maybe 20 times. The East has been way out of the whack with the West
but
for a long
Boston got
time.
a title.
Well, I think Eastern teams have won about a third of the titles since Jordan hung it
And
up.
sold, and then the West has won a half. What's the big deal?
No, 2/3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's not what you just said.
Well, that's more.
Okay, you're bored. Next topic.
Bored with what? Your stats?
Chicho, if you're not aware, this always happens in the 9 o'clock hour. It took a little longer today.
You should see
Ken
me.
Pomeroy probably
You
helped.
should see me in the 11 o'clock hour.
Oh my gosh, out of control.
Yeah, they cut us off at 10 for a reason.
The noon hour.
See, I think there's
crash.
some logic to that.
Take a nap.
Oh, you shut it down?
Oh yeah. At that point, I've gone so hard for so long. I need to rest.
So hard.
It's like when the dog at night gets the zoomies.
Yeah. And so don't between noon and 1. I'm of no use to anyone.
Killing me. Seahawks and Rams tonight. Looking forward to this. 11-3
sure.
versus 11-3.
Yeah.
Winner gets the inside track to the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs and a bye and a couple of home games.
Well, I'm going to have to get out the computer, though, because I want to watch the Jazz game, too.
Yeah.
And when the streaming stuff, you just can't flick back and forth. They've got to create a way that
to channel surf streaming.
Yeah.
It takes too long.
Right.
I got to go. I can't wait for this spinning wheel of death and waiting for it to load.
You literally can't do it.
No. But you get the computer out, you stream the game on that, and then you put the Jazz game up on the TV, and you can channel surf to whatever you need to during the Jazz timeout. I don't know what else is on tonight that you would need to.
Nothing is cut.
A little thin out there tonight, maybe.
Maybe L.A. Law and Hill Street Blues.
Dude.
What?
You named 2 Thursday night shows on Thursday is pretty impressive.
Because I watched them.
I did too. Everybody did. And the day, that was it. Thursday's the night. It was like, well, it is. They're the best.
It was only 3 shows.
What do you mean it was only 3 shows?
For me.
Oh, that you ever watch? You watched Cheers. It was also Thursday's the night show.
I was thinking later into the 90s, not 80s.
Oh.
I was thinking Wonder Years.
Oh, Wonder Years was great.
Hill Street Blues.
Binge the Wonder Years if you haven't seen it.
L.A. Law. And L.A. Law wasn't always for me. It was for my wife.
Oh, okay.
Because we lived in California at the time, and that meant it came on at 10 o'clock.
And
And sometimes I had to start a shift at 6 a.m.
Either you were still at work and you couldn't watch, or you had to get up early and you couldn't watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was it.
Yeah, I watch those. But I watch more of that stuff than you.
Yeah.
Do you stream any shows now?
No. You mean like non-sports?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I've given up completely.
Yeah. The Diplomat. Really good. Tell your wife to watch it. She'll like it.
Probably does.
Yeah.
She does,
She'll
but
like
she's upstairs with the dog.
That was good. Yeah.
I'm downstairs. The only time we meet from like 7 to 10 is I text her and I tell her I'm thirsty.
You're so bad. You're so bad.
What?
You know
the refrigerator is upstairs.
So go up and get yourself something to drink. Bring me a drink, woman? Is that what you text?
I just say I'm thirsty. That's all. I don't order anybody to do anything.
Did she text back too bad?
If you treat a woman correctly,
I have a great story about this.
Things will unfold the way you want.
We're way late to
I
break.
know how to treat a woman correctly. Simple as that.
A long time ago when I was booking weekend shows, and it was somewhere around the year probably 2000. The Jazz are out of the playoffs early. I don't know what to do. There's a cancer walk. Bobby
Why didn't
Sloan,
you call me?
Bobby Sloan is the we hadn't bonded yet. It was before the show. Bobby Sloan is the honorary marshal of this walk.
Jerry's first wife, yes.
Yes, Jerry Sloan's first wife. And I said, maybe I could. And my wife said, absolutely, get her on TV. People are super curious who would marry a guy with that personality who's losing it during games.
Oh, but that's not the way he was.
Yes, but the people don't know that because they're not around him when they aren't during games. We have her on. She's smart. She's charming. She tells great stories. She'd beaten cancer once at that point. Eventually, cancer would get her, but she beat it once. That's why she had her out there. She was an awesome interview. It was a great show. The ratings came in. They were massive. I told my wife, and she just looked at me and goes, "You're welcome." She totally called it. I think Jackie's the same way. She tends to want to stay in the background, but people would be fascinated by her.
Fascinated?
Yes. Number one, same question. Who would put up with this?
If you treat a woman correctly, they'll respond.
Number two, she's a teacher with a bunch of great stories, and people would find that interesting if she'll tell them.
Get her on KSL then.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5. Stay with us. Your feedback next.
And now, enough of us. It's time to hear from you. From all your texts, tweets, and posts. This is the best feedback of the day.
Ooh, I was there. That's the best game of my life.
With DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Join the KSL Sports Zone and Minky Couture and Draper tomorrow from noon to 3. Minky Couture has you covered with this holiday season with the best gift ever. Visit minkycouture.com and come visit noon to 3 tomorrow. DJ and PK, your feedback. People are not shedding any crocodile tears, no sentimentality with LeBron coming through for the last time.
Haters.
Yeah. Is the Pacific AD right in tweeting BYU's basketball team is just a bunch of players with bags of cash? Yes. The team of talented players with substantial financial resources employs a sports administrator and coach who exhibit a sense of superiority and refuse to play against the Utah State University. Those snobby chickens down south. It's highly likely that an in-state school would beat them. U-State Iceman Jack wants a shot at BYU.
Well, Utah will get a shot at
Utah will. Yes, they'll get two, actually. They're going to play home and home in the Big 12 season.
That is a fact.
Utah State have to be in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Maybe line something up there. Cougar Mike, keep winning, and we'll see you in March. A little pat on the head there from Cougar Mike. Nice. All right, DJ and PK, we're out of time. Jake and Ben are up next.